Hi, we're live. Good morning. If I wanted to leave the United States in 2025, right? If I knew my go date, the time that I wanted to move out of the United States was in 2025, here are the things that I would do. Okay, that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm Stephanie Perry. I'm in Bogota, Colombia. This is my first live stream from my apartment in Bogota with internet. Last week's live stream, I was using my phone as a hotspot. Today, I've got Wi-Fi, and I've got the little adapter, the little thing that sends the Wi-Fi into my office. That was the last thing I needed to be able to really function in this space. It's still very echoey because it's an empty office, okay? But I'm in Bogota in my new home. I moved abroad in 2020. Well, I left the United States in 2015, didn't move any place until 2025. But that's what we're going to talk about today. Thank you very much, and good morning, everyone. Good morning, CY Marshall. Good morning, TC. Good morning, Black Women Build Wealth. That's Samira. Good morning, Dropping Knowledge Bombs and Rye. Oh, good. Wait, you just reminded me of something I wanted to do for the live stream. Okay. Good morning, Kalani. Good morning, Alicia. Good morning, Camille. Good morning, Jackie. Friends, here we say hello, okay? Greet me. Say hello. If you're watching the live stream, say hi right here in the live stream. If you're watching the replay, hello, friends in the future. I hope it's awesome there. Say hi in the comments, in the chat. Thank you. Not only am I a person with an apartment in Bogota, Colombia, but I also have my residency card from Mexico. I am also a Mexican. I'm covering up the numbers. All you can see is my name. Okay. I am also a temporary resident of Mexico. I have 4-year residency in Mexico that does not expire until 2029. Yeah, I can read that. Let me get my glasses. Yeah, 2029. 4-year residency in Mexico. So that is where I'm coming from. As a person who has residency in another country, as a person who has a residence in another country, let's talk about what I would do if I was starting this move abroad thing and I wanted to make sure that I moved abroad in 2025, right? If I didn't want to have to push it to 2026, 2029, 2030, okay? Oh, congratulations. I got my Mexican residency on July 4th. Congratulations. Wonderful news. That's fantastic. Good morning, Adelia. Buenos dias. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, friends. So I kind of want to divide this up. I want to talk about money first and second and third. I want to talk about money very early in this conversation because that's usually the thing. So let's start with money, but money is not the only thing that we're going to talk about today in terms of what I would do if I wanted to make sure I could move abroad in 2025. Okay, let me get some water. All right, the first thing or a thing, these are not in a sequential order. Get your notebooks out, take some notes, leave some space for you to answer some of the questions that we're going to ask today. Number one, can you take your job with you? If you're a person who wants to move abroad and you know that you need to continue to make money in your new life in a new country, ask yourself, can you take your job with you? For some people, surprisingly, for some of you, a truly remote job is not out of the question. Like taking the job that you already do and taking it truly remote is not out of the question. There are employers that are remote first. And there are employers who you can convince, who you can negotiate with to be truly remote. Every time someone in the Exodus Summit community gets a yes on this, they're always like so surprised. But it is a thing that is possible. If you like your job, right? And you want to keep doing the job. Question number one, can you take your job truly remote? Not just work from home, but work out of the country. There are a lot of things for some employers to consider. There are considerations regarding taxes and insurance. So for most people, it's a no, okay? For most people, it's a no. But for some people, it's a yes, right? For some people, your job will be like, okay, let's try it, let's see. That is the easiest way. If you either already have a truly remote job, or your job will let you take it on the road. It may specify which countries you can't go to. But that's the first step. You can just take your job and your American dollars and then use that number, your income or the number of the amount of money that you have to live on, and match that up with a place that fits your other needs, right? So for some of you, you can take a job with you, you can take your career with you, even though it's not your job. So, like if you work in, I'm gonna turn on one more light. I got to get used to this setup. Hold on, bear with me. Was that any different? That was barely any different. I got two lights on. So if you work in healthcare, if you work in education, you may not be able to take your actual job with you, but you can take your career with you, right? People who work in education, Adelia's here. Adelia has lived in Honduras, Kuwait, China, Mexico. And in all of those countries, she was already a teacher in the United States. She was a teacher in those countries, not an English teacher. Adelia taught history, civics, government, that kind of thing. I don't know specifically, but in that space, not the English space. But she was a teacher in those countries. If you work in education already, if you work in healthcare already, it may be possible for you to take your career and find a job in a new country. Whereas for most of us, that's not possible. Most of us, I was a credit analyst for a bank. I was a hospital pharmacy technician. I was in the Army, right? I have not done a type of physical job that I could take to a new country. I've not done a job where I could just go apply for work in another country. Applying for work in another country often doesn't work. You don't have legal status to work in that country, which is why for people in education and healthcare, you get support when you get a job, when an employer wants to move you to another country or bring you into another country. They have to do a lot of work to get you legal residency, to get you a work permit, to get you legally allowed to work in that country. And what we normally see that in the education space and in the healthcare space, when we don't necessarily see that in other spaces. Okay. Let's add a third category. I said healthcare and education. We're talking right now about, can you take your current job to the new place, but also can you take your current career to the new place? Education and healthcare. Let's add in, if you work for a multinational company already, and they already pay people to do something that you do in another country, can you just be transferred? Can that company transfer you to another country? If none of these things will work out for you, because you're not in healthcare, you're not in education, you don't work for an international company, I personally would not spend my time trying to find a job in another country. Unless you look at that country, unless you have a country in mind and you look at their shortages list and you know that they're like importing workers who do that thing. If you already know that the country you want to go to is importing workers who do the kind of work that you do, then keep on that path. But if you don't already know that, and you don't work in healthcare, education, or for an international corporation, I would leave that train of thought and move into another train of thought. I would not look for a job in I would not look for a job abroad unless healthcare, education, international corporation. I already work for them. Okay, any questions about this particular thing? Nicole, hi. I can't find anything remote and have been trying to build digital income as a real talk motivational coach for a while, living in a vehicle, not seeing any traction. Coaching is not the kind of thing so some people get coaching certifications, but the coaching certification does not teach you how to get clients. If you're doing a thing on your own, whether it's coaching or anybody, coaching, freelancing, consulting, if you're doing a thing on your own and you need to learn how to get clients, that should be the thing that you spend your time learning how to do. Learn how to get clients. I don't know that. So motivational coaching, life coaching, as a person in the coaching space, right? Exodus Summit is coaching. House Sitter School is coaching. This YouTube channel and the ways that I make money are coaching. I think that there's a misconception that you can just hang up your shingle as a coach and there's money, there are clients there. You have to know how to get clients. If you have no experience in sales or marketing or communication, rethink if this is the immediate pathway to money. This is for anybody. Anybody who thinks coaching is their way to make money. So let's move into that section. Let's move into the next section of this conversation. You know something, you know how to help people do something, and you want to turn that into a business, into money. That's what I've done, right? I knew how to get house sits, so I created House Sitter School to help Black women get house sitting, right? Get to house sitting, get that free accommodation around the world. I knew how to take a career break. I knew how to leave the US. So I started coaching in how to take a career break, how to take a sabbatical, how to leave the United States of America, how to move abroad, how to bop around the world as a nomad. I did that for 10 years. I bopped around the world as a nomad for 10 years, which is why I was able to coach people on how to do that. But coaching is not a one-step process. A coaching business, a freelancer business, a consulting business, it's not a one-step process. You need to know how to get clients. If you have no experience in sales or marketing or communication, you need to learn how to do one of those things or all three of those things. I've done telemarketing. I've done a whole lot of communication. I've done a little bit of sales. And even I've done sales. I've been a salesperson and I still am not. Sales is the weakest part of my business. If you're going to take what you know and make that a business, make that the way that you support yourself so that you can live, it needs to become a full business. My beef, I think, with coaching certifications and coaching spaces is that they don't teach that part. They'll teach you how to coach, which you need to know to be a coach. You need to know how to coach, but they don't teach you how to get clients. You need to know how to get clients. You need to have a plan for who your clientele is. What specific group of people do you need to bring into your coaching business, or do you want to bring into your coaching business? How do you create community with those people or get into community with those people? And then how do you move people into your business? How do you convert them into clients? If you don't know how to do that, then that's a thing that I would address. I contend that adult Black women have a thing that they can teach other people for money. You can't become an adult Black woman, not in the US, not in Canada, not in the UK. You cannot, not in the Caribbean, not in Africa, not in Latin America. You cannot become an adult Black woman without having some skill set that people will pay you to teach them, right? Or to coach them on, or to help them with, okay? So that is a super valid and viable way to make a living. I'm paying my rent. I'm now a renter, and I'm paying my rent in Bogota, Colombia, because I'm taking what's in here, putting it out into the world for money. And you can too. I'm not an exception. But you need to know how to get clients, okay? Sometimes this means you need to have a way to make money while your business is gearing up to make money. I've talked about gig work a lot, and I did gig work here. There are some types of international gig work that you can do where you can be anywhere in the world and make money in a gig without having to get a traditional job, right? A gig means you can work when you want to. And it's easy to pick up clients. You don't have to market the business. So think of Uber Driver, Instacart, right? In the work from anywhere gig workspace, we're talking tutoring people in English online. We're talking house sitting. Even though you don't get paid cash money, you get a free place to stay, right? Gig work can often fill the gap that you need filled while you're growing your coaching, your consulting, your freelance business. Barbara, I'm going gig work. What kind of work, Barbara? Do you know? Or are you already doing it? Tutoring people in English online is the most popular, most prevalent, most common. Cambly, italki, Preply, those are the biggest players in that platform. But there are a lot of places where you can be a native English speaker, you sign up on their platform, you tutor their students in English without, at least Cambly, I know, without having any background in teaching or English or whatever. You just are a native English speaker and you can talk to people. That's it. Barbara sits with people in hospice. Okay, good. Right? So this means you can do it when, I assume this means you can do it when you don't want to. For me, gig work, you can do it when you want to, work the hours you want. And you don't have to go out and find clients. The hospice is like, here's the people, here's the clients to go sit with. But I don't want to discourage anyone whose pathway will be coaching, consulting, freelancing. I think you just need to have a plan for how to make money before that thing makes you money. Okay? Often it is gig work. So let's go ahead and talk about how do you make money in the coaching space when you don't have clients yet. Rashida Dow and I host the Get Your Next 3 Clients Challenge inside of the Exodus ASAP membership. And we're hosting that challenge next July 27th through August 1st. If you're a member of Exodus ASAP, which is exodusasap.com, if you're a member of Exodus ASAP, you can participate in our Get Your Next 3 Clients Challenge, which is happening in a week and a half, or less than 2 weeks, starting in less than 2 weeks. Copy, I'm gonna put the link here, paste. You can do it. Okay, my internet. I'm nervous with my new internet and my new redirect thing. What is it called? You know, the thing that, anyway, whatever. I just plugged it in, turned it on yesterday. They just sent it to me. I just got it sent via Rappi yesterday. Okay, so how do you get clients when you don't know how to get clients? There are 3 or 4 pathways. We'll talk about 2 today. Let's see, the third that I don't want to talk about is paid ads, because I don't know how to get people with paid ads. It doesn't work for me. I can't teach you paid ads, but that is a thing. Paid ads is a way that you can get clients into your business when you're getting started and you don't have a stream of clients, okay? But what I teach is 2 different approaches. One, create your own platform on YouTube and have the algorithm help introduce you to new people, right? YouTube is where my clients come from. Some of you in this chat today have been clients of mine in House Sitter School, in Exodus Summit, in Exodus ASAP, in my former sabbatical coaching program, right? Some of you right here have been my clients because YouTube introduced me to you. So creating your own platform on a place where the algorithm can help you is one pathway. Now, this takes time. Your first YouTube video maybe will not get 10,000 views. It maybe will not get 10 views. And so this takes time. It takes time to grow a community, an audience of people on YouTube. But it is one way, and it's one way that I teach. My YouTube Success Challenge is happening, Monday. Wait a minute. The YouTube Success 5-Day Challenge starts on Monday. And I don't know. I don't even think I have 10 people signed up yet. So if you join the YouTube challenge this time, you'll get a lot of personal attention. Let's say that. Okay. YouTube Success Challenge usually has 30 to 40 women. It'll probably be closer to 20 women this time. So it's your time if you want some personal attention, some more, it's still group coaching, but less groupie group coaching. Okay. YouTube Success Challenge, July 1 through 25. So one way that you get clients into your business, coaching, consulting, freelancing, retreats, whatever, is you have your own platform on YouTube. You form community with people. YouTube's algorithm is the best algorithm out that can say, oh, now that you've given me this information, I understand what you're talking about and who you're talking to, and I'll suggest your videos to those people. Other algorithms don't really care about the creator of the content. I'm not trying to say like YouTube is the best and most caring platform, but I am going to say Instagram. I post on Instagram. I have 20. How many people follow me on Instagram? I have followers on Instagram. I think I have 20,000, but that may be wrong. How come I can't find me? 21.3 thousand followers on Instagram. When I make a post, maybe 1,000, 2,000 people will see it. Instagram's platform does not care about what I want, the creator, right? And as the Instagram viewer, Instagram doesn't even care what I want, right? Let me scroll on Instagram. So I follow Outdoorsy Diva. So the first post I see is Outdoorsy Diva. I follow her. The next post is an ad from a company I don't follow. The next post is Danielle Brooks. Hi, Danielle. I follow Danielle, all right? Next, Black Girl Ventures. I don't follow them, although I do know Frances, the woman who they're resharing. I do know her. RX Mendoza, RVX Mendoza, I don't follow him. Inch Gigs, an ad, I don't follow them. Octavia Rahim, I do follow her. Danielle again, right? So half of the posting I'm seeing on Instagram is from people I don't even follow. YouTube is not the best, but YouTube, it's easy to get to the people you follow. You go to the subscriber tab, there's everybody you follow. And so one way that you get clients in your business is you grow your own platform. You talk your talk on your own space. You create community there. Some of those people will become your clients. Okay. The second way, another way that you get clients in your business is you get a message and you deliver that message on other people's platforms. They've already built a community, an audience, a group of people, an engaged place where people come to talk about or learn about or do something specific. You get your message in front of that audience. Now that's the faster pathway to clients, right? So that's the third thing I've mentioned. The second fastest pathway to clients is to develop a solid message. For me, my message, waiting until your retirement age to start living is a scam. I have delivered that message all over the internet, right? I use that message to convince people to start house sitting. I use that message to convince people to start taking sabbaticals and career breaks. I use that message to convince people to move abroad, right? What is your message? Who can you deliver that message to? And who already has an audience of people who are interested, right? That's three. So that's three ways to get clients: paid ads, your YouTube channel, delivering your message on other people's platforms. The very fastest way to get clients is to let people inside of your network know what you do. Stop keeping it a secret. Tell people inside of your network that you are doing this thing and invite them to work with you, right? So the last two things are what we do inside of the Get Your Next 3 Clients Challenge. Inside of the Get Your Next 3 Clients Challenge, we take 6 days and we say, who are your ideal clients? What is your offer? What is the thing that they're paying you money for? Where are these clients gathered together? How do you get your message in front of groups of these people instead of individuals one at a time? And then how do you make sure your network also goes to work for you? Networks network. How do you also make sure that your network is activated in this process? How do you have a place? How do you start to create a place where people who know you can send people to work with you? We do those things inside of the Get Your Next 3 Clients Challenge. Again, that's happening July 27th through August 1st inside of the Exodus ASAP membership. The Exodus ASAP membership is for Black women who are ready to work on their Move Abroad plan, their Peace Out protocol. Okay, so if I were wanting to move abroad in 2025 and money was the thing, then I would, number one, figure out, can I take my job with me or my career with me? Number two, I would say, what is my skill set and how can I make money from that thing? Again, for me, it was house sitting, right? I know how to get house sits. Black women didn't even know, right? I'm like, Black women don't even know about this. I can't wait. Listen, this is going to change their lives. House sitting changed my life, right? House sitting, being able to book a house sit where I don't have to pay for a place to stay meant that I could travel the world for 10 years. I traveled the world for 9.75 years, right? Without having my own place to stay. And without having a whole bunch of money for the first couple years, I needed to house sit because I didn't have any money to pay for a place to stay. Right? So I was so excited to share that. I'm still so excited to share house sitting with Black women. What is your thing? Right? What is your thing that you're like, if only people knew about this, if they would stop doing this and start doing that, it would be so much better for them. What is your thing? You can take that thing and make it a business. I'm not on team monetize all of the things that you love, right? But monetize the thing that makes the most sense, right? Make money doing the thing that's going to give you the most personal return, right? Sometimes we can make money doing things that we don't like. We don't like them people that we work with. This is why the feet picks thing fizzled out, I think. A lot of us were super excited about feet picks in Exodus Summit 2022. Was it 2022? Exodus Summit, the Move Abroad Money Summit that we did. A lot of people were so excited about feet picks, but then you realize my clientele, oh, I want their money, right? I want the money from these men who have money to throw at us. But is this work that I really want to do? And are these people that I really want to do work for? Right? I'm not anti-feet picks. We had the session because some of y'all needed to make some quick cash, and feet picks and whatever picks was a pathway to make some cash. Some of the next in-person event that we had after that session was in Morocco. The next one was in Morocco in 2023. We got together in Morocco, and at least one woman came up to us and was like, I paid for this trip selling feet picks. Okay? I'm not anti-feet picks. You should know that by now. It wouldn't have happened in Exodus Summit if I was anti-sex work, anti-whatever. But we do want to make money doing things that we like doing, I think. And with a clientele that we like serving. In case you can't tell, I really love Black women. And I love that the people who I work with and work for and help live better are Black women. The people who come to my events and meetups and get-togethers and meet each other and hang out with me are Black women. And I love that. If your business idea is serving a group of people you don't really like that much, I don't know how it's going to work for you. I don't know how it's going to work. It's possible. People make billions of dollars serving clientele they hate, right? I'm not here to say this is the only way, but I do agree with dropping knowledge bombs that when the work that you do is in alignment with who you are and who you want to be, there is more flow. It's easier. It's better. It's better. There is more flow. House sitting, wonderful for retirees, wonderful for teachers, wonderful for people with remote jobs, wonderful for families who want to travel and don't want to have to spend a lot of money on a place to stay. House sitting is wonderful, period. It's wonderful for Black women. So Sparkling Jewel, Night Flirt pays the bills globally. I'm not opposed to virtual sex work or sex work, period. I'm not opposed to it, right? For some people, the clientele that you serve, you don't hate them. like I would hate them. And then for some people, it doesn't matter. For some people, there doesn't need to be that form of alignment. If other things are aligned, that form of alignment doesn't matter. But for some of us, it does matter, and it's easier. Things are just easier. I've seen a lot of flow happening in my life now that I'm in Colombia. Trying to move to Costa Rica was just one headache and hurdle and barrier after another. And then once I decided to come to Bogota, like, not that everything is working so much easier. I still don't have my residency permit here, right? I'm not a resident here, even though I got a rent payment, right? It's not that everything is easier, but there is more flow. Some things are easier. And the things that are not easier are less of a headache because I'm in a place, in an environment that I'm enjoying more than I enjoyed San Jose, Costa Rica. The flow is a thing. It's a thing. Ease, alignment, they're real and we can put them to work for us. Okay, how are we doing with the topic? Clients. So we talked about getting clients. If you're one of these Black women who has something in her head that other people would pay for, I think that that is the next best route. I think that doing work that you already do and just taking it abroad because you're already a teacher, you're already in healthcare, whatever. That's the first. I rank that as number one. I'm going to rank number one as retire. Retire. Let's reorder this whole list. Number one is retire. Some of you can just retire. You don't know it yet because you haven't run the numbers, and you're using someone else's life template to determine your retirement number. Susie Orman's template for living should not determine your retirement number. So number one, retire. You don't know that you can retire yet because you don't know that the money that you have is going to make enough money to support you yet because you don't know how much money you're going to need. I would say retirement, number one. Sandra agrees with me. Retirement is the bomb. Sandra is in Southeast Asia. I think still in Malaysia or Southeast Asia. Sandra is in Southeast Asia, right? Retired teacher. So number one, retire. In terms of ease. Number two would be, if I wanted to move abroad in 2025, number two would be, can I take my job or my career remote? Number three, what do I know how to do? And how can I make that money from the place I want to go? Winnie B, yes, retire. I just met Winnie B down here in Bogota. She was just here in Bogota. I think she just left. Winnie just left Bogota. The meetup was 2 weeks ago. The meetup was 2 weeks ago, but I believe Winnie B just left Colombia because retirement. We love retirement. Do the math. Yeah, so retirement, can you take your job or your career with you? What do you know that you can make money from that won't require you to have a traditional job? The freedom that I have from not having a traditional job has been really nice. So I did a video just a couple of days ago on Instagram where I talked about the beginnings, right? For me, the beginning was being a virtual assistant, VA, and house sitting. VA plus house sitting was how I started to be able to make the money to be wherever I wanted to be in the world. Then you transition into YouTube and coaching. But in the beginning, virtual assistant and house sitting meant I could be wherever, which for me was Mexico, right? Right? I really love Mexico. I really, really, really love Mexico. Those small towns, San Nicolas and Ajijic, they're really cute. Mexico has deemed some places pueblos mágicos, right? Magical towns. And they are beautiful. Some of them are just beautiful. And people still ride horses to get around. I'm from Dover, Delaware, or I'm not from Dover, Delaware. I'm from Delaware. And in Dover, you still see Amish people riding horses to the store, right? That's a thing that really touches me in Mexico. When you see people riding horses to do things in those small towns, it's really nice. Ajijic and San Nicolas and Lake Chapala. They also happen to be in the state of Jalisco in Mexico, which is the most Mexican state there is. Jalisco's slogan is Jalisco es Mexico, right? When you think of Mexico, you think of tequila and mariachi music, and those are the things that were born in the state of Jalisco. It's just a delightful place. Delightful, I would say. Now, they're being overrun by white people, and so you may need to move to an even smaller town White people from the US and Canada, they love those places too. You may need to find a smaller town. Yeah, a man pulled up in a horse next to my Uber in San Miguel de Allende. Yes, it's delightful. Mexico is just delightful. Um, and so I'm 51. You have to excuse me. I don't remember why I was talking about how delightful Mexico is, but I will say one more time, it's delightful. You need to know how much money you need to be able to live in one of these delightful places. And that requires you to just do some math. Inside of the Exodus quiz, which country should I move to quiz, we'll give you some hints on some places that you may want to consider. And then you can use the toolkit to start figuring out the cost of living in those places. So the quiz is exodussummit.com/quiz. It's a free quiz. And then once you take the quiz, you can download your Work From Anywhere toolkit. Inside of that toolkit, we have some resources for figuring out the cost of living in various places. Okay. How am I doing? How am I doing on this topic? Okay, so we've reordered things already to retire, take your career or your job with you, and then start your thing, or continue your thing. A lot of Black women already have a business. They already have a side business that would be location independent. You just need to get some clients inside of that thing. Get some clients so that that business can support you. Okay, Camille says I'm doing well. Okay, thanks, Camille. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. The echo in the room is because there's nothing in the room yet. Okay, there's nada. This is my study. This is my office in my apartment in Bogota. I got to get some stuff in here. Maybe I'll buy a rug this week so that it's not so echoey next week. But this is the office, and this is the view from the office. I'm sitting right in front of the window. You see my plant and you see the light, but I'm sitting right in front of the window. I'm just facing another building. But yeah, I'm super excited to be here. Thanks, Diane. Thank you. Okay. If I wanted to leave the United States in 2025, the money question is the question that I would probably have first. And those are some of the answers that I would have to that. Okay. And then the fourth, so we've talked about retirement. We've talked briefly about retirement. We've talked about taking your job with you or your career with you. We've talked about starting or running a business in such a way that it supports you. And then we've talked briefly about gig work, some online types of work that you could do to support you. Listen, if your rent in Cambodia is $400 a month, being an English tutor online for $10 an hour means you don't even have to work half the, let's see. If your rent is $400 a month in Cambodia, or where else, Sandra, where else in the world could we have $400 a month rent? Hi, Anita. Do you want to go do something tomorrow? I need to holler at you. And anybody else who's still here in Bogota. I'm free tomorrow. Okay, I'm free. I don't have any deliveries coming. Like I have a whole free tomorrow. If your rent is $400 in Cambodia, your rent could be $400 in Vietnam. Your rent could be $400 in parts of Thailand, I think. Malaysia, maybe 500 in Malaysia. So I'm just saying Chiang Mai, Vietnam. Okay. If your rent is $400 a month, you can live on $1,200 a month total. How do y'all feel about that number? $325 rent is easy to find in Chiang Mai, Thailand. Okay. So let's say $1,200 a month total is what you need to live your life. This is not you flying all over the world. This is you being in Southeast Asia, very inexpensive part of the world. Okay. This is not you jet setting to Nice for the summer and whatever. This is you being in Southeast Asia, maybe traveling around Southeast Asia. Okay. $1,200 a month, and Cambly pays $10 an hour to tutor people in English online if you tutor adults, and $12 if you tutor children. Okay. So that's 120 hours per month of work divided by 4 weeks in a month, 30 hours a week, part-time, gig work, Part-time. I'm not here to say that you're going to make $1,200 your first month doing gig work. But I'm saying that gig work is also an option. It'll fill in the needs. Some of you have some income. You may have rental income from the home that you're leaving in the US, or sales income from the home that you're leaving in the US, right? Gig work can fill the gaps. Gig work filled the gaps for me, right? I did Cambly, I did Rev, which I don't recommend. Rev is awful. But it's being taken over by AI anyway, so you probably don't want to do that anyway. Um, Gig work. Yeah, okay, so I did a full video on it, but to me, tutoring English online and house sitting are two of the largest forms of gig work. And then I think we're on number 5, the fifth way that I would work out the money situation, which maybe shouldn't be the last, is rental income from your home or selling your home. Some of those women, I went to a meetup in Nashville. I want to say it was 2021. And some of those women, they sold their homes at precisely the right time where they made bank. Like their $180,000 home sold for $1 million. Like those women in Nashville, it was a time in Nashville in 2021, 2022. They made the money, okay? And so the profit from it, let's just call it investment income, whether it's your real estate investment, your brokerage account, your other investment income. Okay, that shouldn't be the last on the list. But those are the things, the pieces, the moving pieces that I would navigate, negotiate if I wanted to leave the country in 2025 and money was my first and second and third question, right? Those things are how we do it. The women in this community who are wherever we are in the world today, that's how we've done it. Okay, and I know I skipped past retirement, but don't sleep on retirement. Some of y'all still have pensions. Every now and then, I'll bump into a Black woman and she'll be like, "And my pension?" I'll be like, "Girl, you getting a pension? Quit, retire today," right? Sandra said she sold her house in 2021, ran with that check like somebody was chasing me. Girl, that was a come up, okay? Y'all hit a lick, as we would say in Delaware. Y'all hit a lick. That was a come up. Things have changed, right? Real estate prices they changed. But there was a time when them Nashville girlies made a profit on their homes. Okay, so money, if I needed to move abroad in 2025, I would work on one or more of these money situations. Okay, Debbie's team, sell your house, okay? All right. F Doctor, I sold my property for 3 times what it was worth. Okay. All right. Money. Hattie has 3 homes to sell and she's ready. Let's go, Hattie. Okay. Money. Figure out a money thing. Now, it's hard I agree that it's scary. It's not hard, but it's scary to figure out the money when you don't know what a place is going to cost you. There's a lot of information on the internet, and in our work from anywhere toolkit, we point you to some cost of living calculators where you can calculate approximately a cost of living for you. But some of it is really, you're going to have to go to a place and see. Go to a place and see. So let's move into the next phase of this. If I wanted to leave the United States in 2025, I would be less concerned with moving to a specific place, and I would be more concerned with just bopping around. I have gotten my residency visa. Did I lose my card that fast? I have gotten residency in Mexico. Verification. Temporado, residente, temporal, temporary resident. I have gotten my residency in Mexico. So I think it's important for Black people to have a place that will take us in, okay? I think it's important to have a place that says you are a resident here. I think getting a residency visa someplace, it's important. Okay. But I don't think moving to a place is necessarily important. Be free. Be free. It's our world. Listen, the world owes Black people. The world owes Black descendants of enslaved people in the US, in the Caribbean, in Latin America. The world owes us a debt, a significant debt. Collect on that debt and see the world. Get yourself out into the world. I really, really, really think that more people should be spending their time just being a full-time traveler, being a nomad, booking an Airbnb for 2 months and staying in that place for 2 months, and then trying another place and another place. Especially after having moved here and being like, this is hard. It was so much easier to not move. It was so much easier to leave the United States and not move anywhere and just bop around. Get my little 2 suitcases and my carry-on and just go places. Man, rent, utilities, insurance, internet service. That's all I've had to deal with. And I'm like, this is hard. It was so much easier to be a house sitter and stay in Airbnbs or VRBOs or Marriott vacation villas and just be out in the world. Moving places is hard. Last Saturday's live stream was 5.5 hours. That was 5.5 hours of waiting for them people to deliver my mattress. Girl. They were supposed to come I believe they were supposed to come at 10, between 10 and 12. We waited for 4.5 hours. From 10 to when they came was 4.5 hours. Moving is a lot. I gotta fill up a whole house. You see how empty these shelves are? I've got 2 birthday presents. Thank you for the birthday presents, friends. 2 birthday presents on the shelves. This is one room. I gotta fill up all these rooms. Bop around. Kat is talking sense to us. Let's talk some sense. Kat says, just get a furnished place abroad. Furnished is a thing. Furnished is a thing. Especially in Latin America. I don't know that for you can get a 1-year rental that is furnished. It is a thing. It is a thing. Okay. Thank you. Okay, let me get back on track. Bopping around is freer feeling and funner than you probably think it is. It probably sounds exhausting because we're used to taking vacations and vacations wear you out. And it's like, I can't imagine doing that all the time. But it's not like that. You get into a place, you find a rhythm, you find a groove, and you stay there. Sometimes you bop back to that place again. There are places that we love to go that are not the easiest to get your residency card, in. And so there's a time when you have to leave. You fly in as a tourist with your US passport, and they're like, you get 60 days, you get 90 days, maybe you get 180 days, and then you got to go. And so bopping around means you can slow bop, right? You can bop slowly, but you don't have to go through the added pressures of moving to a place. Get your suitcases and go. Okay. What else do I want to say? If I wanted to leave the United States in 2025, I would pack up. I would probably, so now that we've talked about renting furnished, I would probably rent my home furnished. I would get rid of a whole lot though. There's too much in our houses. I would get rid of a whole lot of stuff, sell it, give it away, throw away what has to be thrown away. I would probably rent my home out at least to cover its expenses. Even if not for a profit, I would at least rent it out. I would pack my personal things in 3 or 4 suitcases or less, 2 to 4 suitcases, and I would be out in the world. I think Southeast Asia is very healing for Black women. The Black women in Southeast Asia, they love it there, right? because there is an emphasis on you being a whole person. There's an emphasis on what we call wellness, but it's not categorized like it is in the United States. In the US, wellness is things that you're supposed to spend money on at least once a month. In Southeast Asia, wellness is just how you live. So some of it costs money. You get a massage. Now, your hour massage may cost you I was gonna say $12. I don't know what an hour massage costs in Asia, in Vietnam, but you get your hour massage. You eat your whole real food and your smoothies and your fresh fruits, and you enjoy your life in a way that's not possible in the United States for a fraction of the cost. Bopping. What else do I want to say about bopping? I did it for almost 10 years. I left September of 2015 and I moved here July of 2025. And it's better than you think it is. You can bop to places where you're going to automatically have community, especially if you're part of the Exodus Summit community. Exodus Summit is Black women who are moving around the world, bopping around the world, or staying put around the world. Let me get you a link to join the Exodus Summit community. If I were bopping, I would, and I was money conscious, I would be in Southeast Asia. It costs a grip to get there, but once you get there, you're good, right? I would pick one or two regions of the world and say that's where I'm going to be. So it doesn't have to be Southeast Asia. I can't force you to go there. It may be Latin America, right? From Mexico on down. It's easier if you pick one region because travel within that region will be less expensive than travel from Mexico to Thailand, to Curacao, to South Africa, going from to New Zealand, doing all of that. That's going to eat up all the money, okay? Pick a region or two of the world and get there. And then get in community with the women in Exodus Summit, a free community. It's on Facebook for now, but we're moving soon. Get into the free Facebook community and meet up with the women wherever. You will have community wherever you go, right? 30 women just hung out with me in Bogota. They came from here, there, and everywhere, right? If you create a meetup, people will come. Amina in Chicago is hosting her final Exodus Summit meetup in Chicago. I don't know about final, but she's moving. She's going to visit Chicago again. She'll be back. She said her last, but she'll be back to Chicago. She got family and friends there. So maybe she'll host another one, but her last for now. There's a Chicago meetup for Exodus Summit in tomorrow. I believe it's tomorrow. It might be today. If you're in the Facebook group, you'll see it. And Francis reminded us that there's been a slowdown this summer of meetups. Wherever you are in the world, wherever you are in the country, you can host a meetup just by saying, y'all, let's meet up. This place, this time, this date. That's all you need to have a meetup. You don't even have to know for sure if people will come. I've seen women do that in Minneapolis in the wintertime, and still people came. There was 3 or 4 women at the Minneapolis meetup in February. I don't know why Black women are in Minneapolis in February, but they were there. And they met up and they're friends. So getting in community with people is easy when you're bopping around. You might think you can't bop around because you won't have community and you need to move to a place so that you'll have community, but you can have community while you're bopping. You can do it. I've done it. I've seen it. I've seen it for myself. Okay. Oh, that's where you are, Nicole? I don't think I knew that. I don't know. I feel every time I see Black women in Chicago, in Minneapolis, in Green Bay, in January and February, I'm like, I am failing y'all. I failed y'all. I have failed you. So the gang in Southeast Asia, Lisa Clark is asking, is there a Facebook group for Thailand or Chiang Mai? So there's a solid core of Exodus Summit women there. I don't know how you hang out with them. I think you just ask Sandra, when is the next thing? I think there are Black in groups all over that are not Exodus Summit groups, but some of our women are also in those groups, right? Black in, Brothers and Sisters in, right? So there's a Brothers and Sisters in Chiang Mai community. And then there's some Exodus Summit women inside of that community. But the easiest way is to go on Facebook into the Exodus Summit Facebook group and say, hey, I'm in such and such a place. Who wants to meet me for lunch at this place, this date, this time? That's the easiest way to find them. So where are the Exodus Summit women in Thailand? So there are some still in Bangkok and Chiang Mai, but I don't know that there's like a WhatsApp community or whatever. It's just on Facebook, somebody saying, I'm in this place, who wants to meet up? I think that's how it's happening. Yvette says there's a group called Brothers and Sisters of Bangkok. I know it's scary to think that you will just reach out to people and start and meet up with people. But that is how Exodus Summit works. There's no circle. Rashida says our circle, no, there's no center. Our circle has no center, right? You're the center. When you're in a place, you're the center. You create the meetup. I know it sounds scary, and some of you are like, I would never do that. I'm the kind of person who would say, I would never do that, and I've done it because I see the payoff. I see the benefit. So when I'm in a new place, I say, who wants to eat dinner with me or lunch with me at this place, this date, this time? Let's meet up, and Exodus Summit women go. Because we value community, because the women inside of the Exodus Summit community are so open and friendly and warm, and it always works out. It always works out. Okay? Yeah, get out of the comfort zone. If you can't do that, okay, real talk. If you can't be the person who says, hey, I'm in town, who wants to have dinner with me or whatever, go to the movies with me or whatever, then I don't know how you're going to survive in a new country. Okay? You've got to be able to form community with people, with local people, with other expats and immigrants. You've got to be able to. Okay? It's a thing you've got to do. You can't survive in a place, especially in a place where you're still learning the language. You don't understand the customs. You don't know you don't even know the holidays. The other day, the late landlord's daughter was like, no, we can't do it on Monday. Monday's a holiday. I said to that lady, what holiday is it? And she said, I don't know. They're Colombian women. They live in Bogota. It was the Festival of St. Peter and Paul, I think is what it was. It was a couple of weeks ago. How would you survive in a place where things operate like that? It's a holiday. I don't know what it is. You have to. That is a step zero, right? Not even the first step of being able to survive. You've got to be able to form community. I don't care about your introversion. I don't care about your antisocial personality disorder. I don't care. If you're going to make it, you've got to be able to form community, even if you're afraid. I don't mean you have to be not afraid to do it. You can be afraid. You can be nervous. You can be petrified. You still have to be able to do it. How are you going to make it if you can't do that? If you can't post in a Facebook group of friendly people like me, if you can't post, hey, anybody want to come to brunch with me on this date, this time, this location? If you can't do that, I don't know how you're going to make it in a foreign country. I don't know. That's real. So do that. Inside of the Exodus Summit community, wherever you are and wherever you're going, that should be the thing that you're doing. Whether it's your hometown or you're visiting your cousins somewhere or you're in another country or you're on another continent, that is the thing that we should be doing more and more and more of. Okay? I don't know how you're going to make it if you can't do that. Practice it, learn it, develop that muscle. That's step zero, not even step one. That's step zero. Okay? I know it's scary. You can do it. Okay. Once you do it, it becomes easier and easier and easier. Okay. Thank you. All right. So bopping, if I was leaving in 2025, I would answer the money question. We talked about 5 approaches to the money question. I would consider bopping instead of moving to a place. If you have real fear about not having a home base, work on that. You can create a home base in a place without officially moving there. For a while, I would have considered Guadalajara. Well, my parents' house was always my home base, right? But for a while, I would have considered Guadalajara, Mexico, my semi-home base. It's just a place where I knew how things worked. I knew what restaurants and what food I liked. I knew the mall I liked to go to, right? I just understood it. I got it, right? And so even though I didn't set down, I didn't rent a property in Guadalajara. I was just I don't even know if I ever house sat there. I know I did Airbnbs there, right? It was a place that I would consider my home base. So consider being more flexible about what your home base looks like. If you pick a home base where there are other Black women from the Exodus Summit community, you have even more support, right? More help, more like, girl, hold my suitcase. Because a friend, I still got a suitcase I still have stuff in Costa Rica, right? I gotta get in touch with Shayla and get my stuff from her, right? So when San Jose became my home base, there was some stuff. I just was like, girl, can you come pick this up? I didn't even take it to her. I didn't even take it to her house. She came and picked it up from me. I was like, I'll fly out tomorrow. Can you come pick some stuff up today? Because I think she worked near where I was staying. So she came after work. Consider a different look for a home base. If you must rent something, right, to feel safe, to feel secure, to feel grounded and rooted in a place, find something easy, find an easy, small, inexpensive place that frees you up financially to still see the world. I really want you to travel. I really want you to see the world before you pick. See the world before you pick a place. If I hadn't seen the world before I picked Bogota, and Bogota is not even my forever home, I don't think. Bogota is 4 years, right? I have like a 4-year counter in my system where it'd be like, okay, now change everything, right? So Bogota, I feel comfortable that I'll be here for 4 years. Will I be here for 14 years? I don't know. But I wouldn't have picked Bogota if I hadn't seen other places first. Before I left the United States, I thought Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia was the answer. Malaysia had a really easy to get residency visa. And Malaysia, my second home, I think actually gave you citizenship. If not citizenship, it was permanent residency or something, maybe permanent residency. I was confident that Malaysia was it because they had that Malaysia, my second home program, which I think was permanent residency now that I think about it. Because they speak English, and I thought I was overly worried about moving to a place where I couldn't speak the language, right? This was in the beginning times. This is 2015. So they speak English. They speak Bahasa Malaysia, but they also speak English. And the cost of living was amazing, phenomenal. And they have a reputation for great healthcare and great internet speed. Malaysia is the fastest internet I've ever experienced in my life. Like seriously, like whoosh, like hundreds of gigabytes per second, not tens of gigabytes per second. Before I traveled the world, I would have thought it was Malaysia. And then I got to Malaysia and I was like, oh, I can't take the heat and I can't take it. And there's this group of people here that I don't like. There's a lot of, listen, I'm gonna tell the truth. Okay, I'm gonna tell you. There's a lot of Bangladeshi people, Bengali people from Bangladesh. And the men just stared at me all the time. And not in a good way. I landed in Kuala Lumpur on a holiday, and so nobody was at work, and there was just men on street corners. I was fully covered because I was told in Malaysia, you keep yourself covered. There's a Muslim country. We don't do the shorts and whatever. Long sleeve or at least 3/4 sleeve shirts, maxi skirts, and the men were just like, right? If I hadn't traveled, I wouldn't have known what I don't want. And I wouldn't have known that the things that I do want didn't matter all that much, right? So the speaking English thing, it turns out it didn't matter all that much in terms of being in a place for 3 months or 6 months or a year. And I can learn a language if I can recognize the alphabet, right? I could have learned, I can still learn Bahasa Malaysia. I have a book on Bahasa Malaysia. I have a book on learning Bahasa Malaysia, which I may sell because I've given up on Malaysia. Yeah, they were Laren. That's my mom. Hi, Mom. Good morning. I mean, hi, Connie Perry. Y'all know I don't call her mom on here because y'all get ideas. Not your mom. Okay, you call her Connie Perry. Thank you. Yeah, I learned traveling for that time. You don't need to travel 10 years before you put down roots somewhere, but it's really nice to check out some places before you pick a place. Because I learned that, oh, I can learn another language. I can learn Espanol. Yo hablo, okay? Yes. Yo parle français? Oui. Okay, I can learn another language. And another thing that I thought was important that turned out not to be that important. Something else. Yeah. So even if you do decide that you need roots, you're going to move in 2025, but you're going to move to a place, please free yourself up financially and logistically to still spend time in other places. Check out some other places. You'll see somebody will mention something. It's real nice to see somebody, one of your friends, be like, I'm going to such and such for 2 months. And you'd be like, oh, I'm going to come with you. That's freedom. That's a level of freedom that we don't even know to aspire to, right? It's amazing. Somebody be like, oh, I'm going to such and such. Oh, I'm going. I'm going to come with you. It's amazing, right? So free yourself up as much as you can at first. If you've not gotten a chance to scout out some places and check out some places. If you're going to move and get an apartment, make sure that you're financially and physically freed up to be gone when you want to be gone, right? Get you a house sitter in the house and leave when you want to leave. Maybe you do some home swapping. Rashida did a video on home swapping, right? Maybe you do some house sitting or some home swapping, but make sure that you're not pouring cement around your feet when you get someplace. Ways that we pour cement around our feet when we get someplace. We pay too much on rent or whatever. We buy and build a home. Cement, shoes, girl. But also I had another one. It was right there. I had 3 things in my head. You don't pour cement around your shoes by financially overextending yourself in a place. Oh, taking all of your stuff. Taking a whole bunch of stuff with you. Right? If you can't pack up your stuff in 3 or 4 suitcases and try another city out, I think you're less likely to try another city out. I know, we love Angela dearly. Angela and her, Lamar and Angela is a YouTube channel, and they did what I said don't do, right? They moved a whole house of stuff to Mexico. They still travel, they still see other places, right? I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm saying I wouldn't do it. It's easier to get rid of your stuff and be lighter and freer. Okay? I'm not saying just because you move to a place and you ship all your stuff or you drive it all down or whatever, that you're stuck there. But I'm saying it's easier if you're not. It's easier if you don't do that, right? If you can pack your stuff up in a few suitcases, you're feeling freer and lighter. Yeah, so Barbara says, I took a lot of stuff. It saved me from buying the things I needed. Yes, I would really, really love for Black women to land in a place with 3 or 4 suitcases, be in that place, and then be like, oh, you going such and such? I'm going there. Listen, when Rashida and I said we're going to be in Vietnam in February, the women who were like, oh, okay, so I'm going to be gone December, January, February, March, April, May, right? Like I'm spending 6 months touring Southeast Asia. Was a sight to behold. It was amazing. Women beat us there. Women stayed there after we left. There are some women still there. Diamond just got back, right? Diamond. far as I know, Diamond is back in the United States. No, that's a different Diamond. Hi, oh, hi, a new Diamond. Hi, Diamond. I've been a minimalist for the past 2 years. I love it. I just have enough clothes, one suitcase. Hi, new Diamond. Welcome. Diamond, another Diamond. I think she just got back to the United States last month. Like, that was February, girl. It's so amazing to see and experience and be in the midst of. And Black women wouldn't do that if it didn't feel so good. It feels so good to be free. And I want you to feel that freedom. And that's why I'm saying this is how I recommend. Okay? That's why these are my these are my recommendations. You live your life. Okay? You do you. Okay? This is what I recommend. Different Diamond. Welcome. She's a different Diamond, but I'm not new here. Welcome. Hi. Hi. Yeah. Traveling around for me at times meant one city for a week or 2 or 6 and another city, but it also meant, oh, I haven't moved from San Jose, Costa Rica for 4 months, right? Like I've been in this exact same spot for 4 months. It depends on, sometimes it depends on your mood at the time. There are times when you'll be in a place and you'll be like, I've had enough. I'm ready to go. And there are times when you just want to stay. Being free to let that guide you, being free to let that lead you is worth it. It's worth the letting go of your stuff. Okay? I know that your stuff is important to you in the life that you have today, but is that stuff going to be as important to you in your new life? Because you're going to be a different person. You don't believe me. You don't know it. You haven't met her yet, but you're going to be a different person in a different place. Some of the security blankets that we need in the United States, we don't need in those other places. Like literal security blankets and figurative security blankets, literal body armor, as well as figurative armor. Some of those things we don't need in our new life. There are women who look and carry themselves and hold themselves so differently that I can't imagine her bringing all her old stuff with her because she's not the same. And so being free, I think it requires you to let that stuff go. Let it go. LIG, let it go. Let it go. Okay? Okay. All right, so moving abroad in 2025, we talked about 5 different approaches to the money. We talked about a specific approach to leaving the country, which is leaving without physically moving to a new place. Although I do recommend that you get residency in a country that you're legally permitted and qualify for residency in, I would pick a country that lets you be wherever you want to be in the world. Panama, Mexico, Costa Rica, Ecuador, as far as I know. Okay, this is not legal advice, but as far as I know, in those countries, you get residency in those countries, but they don't care where you are. They don't care, right? Like, we'll see you when we see you. I think Costa Rica may have a 1 day a year requirement, and maybe the others have a 1 day a year requirement, something like that, right? Not legal advice. I don't know for sure. You got to do your own research. But I would, if I was going to get residency in a place, I would pick a place that let me be anywhere, as opposed to the love of my life, which is Portugal. I love Lisbon, Portugal. I love Lisbon, Portugal, but it doesn't fit my needs. I need to be free. And Lisbon requires you to spend, I think, 7 months out of the year in Portugal, Portugal residency. That D7 visa requires you, I think it's 7 months out of the year. I can't commit to that. I can't commit to that. I don't even know if I'm going to be here for the next 7 months, right? I know I'm going to be gone almost all of October into November, right? And I'm going to be gone most of August. I just moved in. I'm going home for my dad's birthday in August, and I'll be in the US for a couple of weeks, right? August, October, and November. And I just got here. I can't commit to what Portugal requires. So I would consider getting residency in a place that still lets you be free. Okay? Unless you love Portugal. If you love Portugal, go. Okay, I will allow it. I'll allow it. It's fantastic. So Talanda, hi Talanda, is asking, what do I love about Portugal? First of all, it is a coastal country. I love the water, which you wouldn't know because of Bogota. There ain't no water in Bogota. Okay, I love being on the water. It is they advertise 300 days of sunshine. They have the kind of weather I like without it being oppressive, like Malaysia. It's just warm and sunny, especially down south in Lisbon. Um, the it's cute. They put effort into the appearance of the buildings. They actually tile the outside of buildings, right? Some of it is that beautiful blue and white tile that you're used to seeing when you think of when you think of Portugal, you probably think of that blue and white pattern. But you know, my favorite houses in Lisbon, they do like a watermelon. They do the house in like a inside of a watermelon color, and they do the trim in like a watermelon green. I love the way they do that, right? It's cute. And then the language. So Lisbon, Portuguese is a language that English speakers can learn, right? Portuguese is not Vietnamese. I don't think I'll ever be able to understand anything in Vietnamese, right? Portuguese is a close enough language that we'll be able to learn the language. It's just a plus. After traveling around, well, after spending time in Costa Rica, I went back to Lisbon when we finished that cruise last year. And I was like, oh, the cost of living is still good. I'm not here to tell you it's a cheap place and it's whatever, whatever. But compared to Costa Rica, my money went far. We were in restaurants and I was like, put it on my tab. This is not Costa Rica price. Costa Rica, for Central America, Costa Rica is expensive, right? Costa Rica is expensive for Central America, right? Going into a restaurant and seeing a bill of a 15 euro dish on a restaurant in a restaurant was like nice. I'm like, this is nice. 15 euros. A euro? I think you could still get a coffee for 1 euro, $1. Like a sit down coffee, cappuccino. So cost of living, location, easy to fly. You can get direct flights. My family is in Delaware. You can fly directly from Philadelphia, Baltimore, New Jersey, New York, easily. One shot. Not like, I don't know. What else do we like? Croatia, where you're going to have to connect, you know. I love Lisbon, Portugal. It's the love of my life. I love that place. I love that place. But it doesn't fit the needs for me today. I hope there'll be a time when I live there. I hope. But if not, I'll be visiting. Okay. I'm going back again and again. I'll be there. We'll be there in October. Okay. So was that in Portugal? Deborah saying, are they still spraying foreigners with water guns because they want them to leave? I saw that in France. No, it wasn't France. I saw that somewhere. I don't mean I saw it. I mean I saw it on the internet somewhere. So personally, most people would disagree with me. I think Adelia Rashida would probably disagree with me on these things. But personally, my experience has been as an American, people are less concerned with me being American. They see me as American, but they also give me a little extra. So even if they're mad at Americans and British people and Australians and Canadians and whomever, I personally get a little extra grace where they be like, well, she's cool. I'm Black. There is a different interaction with Black American women, I think. I don't know if it's because they know they've stolen so much of our culture, but I'm Black and I don't have an experience of people putting me in that category. So yeah, in Mexico, I'm a gringo. I'm a gringo in Mexico. They know I'm American. Everywhere in the world, they spot me as American, right? Everywhere in the world. But they don't really care about what I'm doing. I'm Black. I don't think Adelia, Rashida, they live in Mexico. I don't think that they wouldn't say it that way. They wouldn't agree with me on this. But this is how I've been treated. Treat them like that. I'm not saying that I get treated like a local. I definitely don't get treated like a local. They expect me to pay the gringo price, right? If they charge extra to white people, they charge extra to me, right? But also, I don't think, I don't know. It's hard because Bogota is one of the few places I've been where I don't know that people immediately go the American. Until I start talking, I don't think they immediately go the American. Here's the American. Here she goes. Until I start stumbling and saying everything in the present tense and then just adding yesterday or tomorrow. Ayer, mañana. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to say this. The world owes Black Americans and Black Caribbeans and Black Latinos a significant debt, and I'm here to collect my debt by traveling the world. Capitalism was founded on our backs with our literal lives. They owe us. Everyone who is making money in a greedy capitalist way, you owe me. I'm coming. I'm going to your city. I'm living in your city like I belong there. Capitalism did not exist until they started exporting us into the Americas. That is how all of these countries, all of these people had to come up on our sweat, our lives. You owe me. Pay me my money. This is my reparations. I will probably, in my lifetime, I will probably never get financial reparations. And so what I will do is move about the world like I belong there. That's what I will do. I will never, probably ever, get any form of financial reparations. But I will be up in your country like I live there, with kindness and respect, with generosity of spirit, not as a colonizer, not as a dirty capitalist scummy pig, but as a person who is ingratiated is not the word I want to use, who is an integral part of piece of humanity. Okay. Yes, but not like a colonizer. Okay. Not like a colonizer. I'm learning Espanol. Yo hablo Espanol. Last Saturday, y'all heard me. Hablando. Yo hablando. I talked to the plumber in Spanish and I told him what was clogging that pipe was not my fault. You heard me. I talked to the mattress delivery men in Spanish. I talked to the security guard who called me and told me they were coming, right? There are things that we do to make sure. So let's add this to our list. If I was leaving the US in 2025, I would make sure that I know what things are dirty, scummy, capitalist piggy of me, and I would try to suppress them, unlearn them, okay? For me, and for most of us, it's probably buying property in a place you've never lived, in a place you're not connected to. That is the dirtiest, scummiest, capitalist, piggiest thing we do. You've never lived there. You're going to buy land there. You're going to buy a house there. Oh, are you? You're going to buy some stuff to Airbnb there. Oh, are you? Dirty, scummy, capitalist pig. Doesn't make sense for Black people to be capitalists. We were the capital, okay? We should not be flipping it into the capitalists, okay? And so I would probably spend some time unlearning some of these practices this year as well. Some of that includes unlearning how to see everything as a way that you can make money from people. That's the thing that I would do. And I would make sure that I'm learning a language. You absolutely do not need to move. You do not need to know a language before you go to a place, but you need to try. You need to try. You need to start. And when you get there, you need to try to bring it out. I know it's hard and it's very scary. When my mom and I were in Mexico, I'm like, Mom, when they would say buenos dias, she would just be like, and I'm like, Mom, you know how to say buenos dias. Okay, you know, I've heard you. You can reply. It's scary. It's scary. You're afraid you're going to mess it up or whatever. But you need to try. You need to let that come out. So that's another thing. Let's add that to the list of things that I would do. If I know that I want to move out of the United States and I want to do it before 2025, I would look at a couple of things a couple of ways that I'm considering going, right? A couple of ways that I'm considering moving to a new place. And I would examine, is this colonizer? Is this the colonizer coming out of me? Because we've learned from the best, and by that I mean the worst, okay? We've learned from the worst people how to do things. And so I would just examine that. If you're thinking about, oh, I could move to this place and buy property and do whatever, whatever, I would take a second and think about it and say, maybe I should live in a place first. Maybe I should get to know the people first and let them get to know me before I go buying up land. Maybe I should even find out if buying and selling property is a thing there, because surprise, in a lot of the world, sure, you can buy a place, but you'll never be able to sell it. There is so much inventory. They don't do it. They don't. So I would examine those practices, the things that you're thinking about doing in another place to replicate what you know in the United States. I would sit back, pause, think on it, because it probably doesn't work like that there. And it's probably not going to help you be in community with people there. And it's also probably going to run you a whole bunch of money, because people will cheat you. People can spot a greedy capitalist. They can spot a greedy capitalist a mile away. You'd be like Stringer Bell on the wire. And he was like, man, they saw you coming. They saw you coming. Okay, it's going to cost you extra money. Being greedy can cost you a little extra money. Okay. All right, so that is what I would do, okay? Consider bopping instead of moving. I would re-examine the way that I wanted to operate and make sure I wasn't doing colonizer stuff, and I would get my money situation figured out. I would get it started, right? Girl, they saw him coming. They saw that he had dollar signs in his eyes. Greed, people can smell it on you. And all they want to do, somebody is greedier than you, right? Somebody is greedier than you. They can smell that dirty, scummy American capitalist on us. And they'll be like, I'm about to get all her money. They'll take it. You need to be in a place and see how things operate in that place before you do things like buy. Buying property, I'm gonna say this 14 times a day. Buying property in a place you've never lived is a major red flag that you haven't learned you haven't learned the dangers, the problems with colonization, that you're okay with it. You're down with it. You're here to propagate it. Okay. Yes, hi, Deborah. Deborah's in Ecuador. 60 plus Black women expats is Deborah, and she's in Ecuador. What will be my impact on the community outside of the expat bubble? That's right, right? How will you live in community with people? Whether you're there forever or 3 months, what impact will you have? So Rashida taught me to make sure your landlord is Colombian. Make sure your landlord is there. Right? Your landlord is not some American or British or Canadian person, or not some investment firm. My landlord is Olga, okay? Olga and her daughters live in Bogota, okay? Make sure that you're financially not taking more than you give. Okay, good. All right, so that's what I would do. What are your questions about moving this year? Oh, thank you for the super chat. Thank you, Carol. Hello. Thank you very much for that super chat. Good morning. What are your questions about moving in 2025? We talked about money, and the way that I would prioritize the money, which is retirement. Can I retire? You don't know the answer to that because you haven't done your numbers, but can you just retire? Can you use investment income that is already coming to live your new life? Can you take your job or your career with you? This is better easier if you're in healthcare, if you're in education, or if you work for a multinational corporation. Can you take your knowledge, your skill set, and turn it into a thing? And do you know how to get clients for that thing? Okay, Get Your Next 3 Clients Challenge happens July 27th through August 1st inside of Exodus ASAP. Because you could create a business, but do you know how to get clients? Don't skip the most important part, please. Okay, clients is where the money resides. Okay, delete that, space bar, enter, exodusasap.com. Can gig work either float you or support you totally? Can gig work either fill in the gaps for the missing money, right? You have some money, but not enough. Can gig work help you? Or can it be the total piece of the pie, total pie? Those are the things we talked about in terms of money. I would get those things worked out to be able to leave. Okay, so money, and then we talked about bopping instead of moving. I am team bop. That should be no surprise to anyone. I bopped around the world for 9 years and 9 months without having my own home. Now I have my own home in Bogota. This is the office, and that's the living room with the TV on the floor because I still don't have furniture except for a sofa. Okay, this is my home. But for 9 years, 9 3/4 years, I did not have my own place. I saw the world mostly through house sitting, but through other, also just paying for Airbnb, staying with other people, whatever. Is that a less pressure way to leave the United States, right? Would that be less pressure for you? If you don't have to add in the stressors of getting your residency right away, getting a home, getting furniture, figuring out how do you even rent in that place? Because renting is very different here than it is in the United States. Like finding a place is different here than it is in the United States. I would work those things out and see if it's just easier to pack you 2 or 3 suitcases and see the world. Until you find a place where you're like, oh, I'm home now. I'm gonna stay here. I'll stay here, thank you. Some of the places that you love will never ever be your true home because they don't let you move there. Vietnam, as much as we love it, we love Vietnam in this space. We love Vietnam. Parts of Vietnam are just amazing. Hue An and Da Nang, Vietnam, I love it there. I love it there. But they're like, no, you can't move here. No, you can't get residency here. And so that's a place where you bop to, but you don't necessarily move to. But that's okay because bopping is valid. Bopping counts. It counts. It all counts. Okay. April. Hi, April. Is it possible to travel with 2 miniature poodles? Yeah. Looking at Seoul, Korea, Malaysia, or France. Yeah. You need to find out that country's requirements. Some countries make you quarantine your pet separately. I know Australia has that kind of rule. Some countries make you quarantine the pet, like at an airport facility for days and days. So you need to find out what are the entry requirements. Some places have like a pet passport they require you to get. And you need to know the airline's requirements. You need to know the country's requirements and the airline's requirements. Awkward Black Nomad, who is Kyoka, travels with Frank and Bernie, her 2 small dogs. She's been all over. I don't know. Are they with you in China? Are you in China, Kyoka? And are they there with you? So I would see on her channel if she's done some videos recently about traveling with her small dogs. Adelia used to travel with Mia, travel and moved abroad with Mia. And so Adelia's channel is Picky Girl Travels the World, and Kyoka's channel is Awkward Black Nomad. I would start with Googling the place's requirements. I would look at the airline requirements, and then I would look at videos on their channels. I'm going to link to Adelia's channel here. Okay, Adelia is Picky Girl Travels the World. Adelia Aborshade. She's lived in, I don't know how old Mia was. So Adelia's lived in Mexico, Kuwait, China, and Honduras, but I don't know when Mia came into the picture. So I don't know where Mia lived with her, but she's traveled all over the world with her even if she didn't live in those places. And then Kyoka is awkward black nomad, and Kyoka has her two small dogs who are Frank and Bernie. And this is Kyoka's channel, awkward black nomad. Okay, so that's how I would answer that question. Where am I going? What are their requirements? What is the airline requirements? And what did I say? And then I would watch some videos from some other creators who've had these experiences for things that you don't know might spring up, for problems that might happen. Small dogs are much easier than big dogs, though. I do know that. All right, and then in the chat, Coffee Spills the Tea is giving you some info also about USDA vaccinations and et cetera, et cetera. I saw a question about my own insurance situation in Colombia, but I don't know how long ago it was. But I want to answer that. Is the embassy here still open? Yes. But I saw a question asking me about insurance. So I have insurance. In order to apply for my digital nomad visa, I had to get insurance here, but nomad insurance counted. But I got insurance with Sura. I don't know. It's a Colombian insurance company. $1,800 for the year for my policy. It includes the things you would expect. Let's see. I think this is probably the notebook, but I don't know where in the notebook I would have written oh no, or did I write it in notes? Let me see if I wrote it here. Insurance. Okay. Any specialist, I have the classical plan. Any specialist is included. Exams ordered by the doctor are free. I can do lots of in-home, a lot of those services that I get, I can have them come in-home. They do lots of house calls here for blood work and whatever. Unlimited hospitalizations. This isn't my main, I took notes in two different places. But anyway, $1,800 for the year is my middle range insurance policy here in Bogota. I'm sorry, I think that was the question. I hope that was the answer. I hope that was the question. I hope I answered the question. I did see it. What phone service do you use while bopping? Google Fi used to be the answer, and it probably still is the answer. It's just not as good of an answer as it used to be. Google Fi, I still have the Google Fi SIM card in my phone. I now have a dual SIM, I have the Google Fi and I have my Colombian Movistar SIM card. It used to be, Google Fi is now kind of funny. And for some people, after you've been out of the United States for 90 days, you lose your data. Then you're now Wi-Fi only. If you need to keep a number, Google Fi is worth it to keep the number. If you have a dual SIM phone, Google Fi is worth it to keep the number and pay the very least. I think you can pay them $10 a month is the least. It might be $10 or $20 a month. And then I would just get a SIM card in your new country for data, because it's always going to be less than what we're used to in the United States. I got, for Google Fi, 6 gigs of data cost me $50 or $60 per month. 6 gigabytes of data. I'm paying $12 a month on Movistar for 50 gigabytes of data, 50. From 6 to 50. And I've cut my bill into 1/4. I'm paying 1/4 or 1/5 of what I was paying. So here's how I would navigate SIM cards while I'm bopping around the world today. I just used Google Fi in 2015. I don't know that Google Fi existed or that I had a SIM card in 2015. I think in 2015, I was just every new country, I got a new SIM card and my phone number is different in every country. But now that we have dual SIM phones, I would get the cheapest SIM card you can get in the United States and keep that same phone number, right? Because sometimes, your bank wants to text you things. You need to keep a US phone number. For me, the main reason I still have to have a US phone number is that anytime I log into my bank accounts, they'd be like, we texted you a number. We texted you the code, right? That's the main thing I need a US phone number for. Everything else, WhatsApp and whatever, they don't care about you changing SIM cards out. And then in that new country, I would get the cheapest, I would get a cell phone plan, which is going to be much cheaper than you're used to. I think South Africa and Australia were the only places where I was like, oh, this internet is US priced, right? And South Africa was 2017, right? So prices may have improved. But for the most part, when I went to Mexico, the first time I went to Mexico, and they were like, what was my plan? It was the Amigo Sin Limite plan with Telcel. Let me see what it costs now. Telcel. I was like, oh, SIM cards for everyone. 200 pesos, convert 200 MXN to US dollars. $10 for 200, $10 a month in Mexico. That sounds about right. I think it was $10 a month for me back then too. Yeah. So, okay, I've talked about this for a long time, but I think I've answered the question. Okay. Thank you, Camille. You're welcome. I mean, yeah, still 200 pesos. I was like, run me a SIM card, please. Yeah, so I think sticking with a US provider with an international plan is probably the most expensive way you could do it. Dual SIM, eSIM. So in Colombia, there's only one company that does eSIM, which is surprising. I'm like, do y'all know it's 2025? Claro, Movistar, and somebody. And there's three or four major cell phone providers here, and only Movistar did an eSIM. And my phone is eSIM. There's no SIM card slot in my phone. Oh, maybe there is. No, I'm eSIM only. This is a picture slot. The place that used to be for the SIM card is now for photos. Yeah. And Deborah's reminding you, if you receive Social Security, you also need to keep a US phone number. Yeah, so keep your US phone number, get on the cheapest plan you can get on, which may be Google Fi, even though they're going to cut off your data after a while. If you're Wi-Fi connected, you can still use it you can still receive like text alerts. You still receive this stuff. And then get your SIM card in that new place. Pardon me. All right. Girl, it's ridiculous. Greedy. It's greedy. Okay. When you leave the United States, you see where the greed resides. It seems normal to pay a $100 cell phone bill in the United States. It's nothing but greed. It's nothing but greed. It's just greedy. Okay. Can we keep our US SIM and get the phone plan abroad? Yes. If you have a dual SIM phone, you can do that. Don't need a VPN in Colombia. I need a VPN in Colombia. I just don't use it very often. And then it frustrates me when I'm like, why didn't I just use the VPN? VPN is separate. A VPN is a totally different thing. A VPN tells the internet, it makes it seem like you're in one location when you're really in another location. So sometimes when I saw Adelia, I just watched Adelia's video yesterday I just watched it this morning, but it was from yesterday or the day before about the things she doesn't like about being an expat, the things she doesn't like about living out of the US. And one of them is how banks lose their shit when you try to log into your banking app from another country. Like, girl, all of these transactions from Colombia, food delivery, Uber, all these Colombia transactions. Now I log into my bank account from Colombia and they're like, oh, got to be fraud. That's a time when I need a VPN. I need to turn the VPN on to make it look like I'm in the US. I don't understand why I need to do all that, but I do have a VPN. I use ExpressVPN. I think I pay $10 a month or $10 a year. I don't know what it costs. I pay for it, but it's an annoyance. It doesn't solve a lot of problems, but it covers up some problems. And if I used my VPN more often, I probably would have fewer problems. I was just looking on Crate and Barrel, Crate and Barrel. I was just looking at furniture. I want some furniture made here in Columbia, some more furniture made. I had my desk made that I'm using right now. I wanted some more stuff made. And I was looking at Crate and Barrel, and they were like, oh, not only you are blocked from this website. Right? Not just like, it looks like you're out of the country, we don't ship there or whatever. They were like, you're blocked. I cannot get on Crate and Barrel's website. There are times when it makes sense for me to use a VPN more often, but other times I'm like, whatever, I'm not doing it. Portia, if you have a question, ask your question. And if I don't see it, ask it again. Yes, you can receive your Social Security and your retirement money to your US bank account, and you need to know how to get money from your US bank account to the country you're in, right? You can receive, now there is Social Security disability insurance. If you're on Social Security disability insurance, you're not supposed to leave the country. But if you're just getting regular Social Security, I don't know if that's what it's called. If you're just getting, you know what Social Security is. If you're getting Social Security, that money still needs to go into your US bank account. I believe that's correct. And then you need to know how to get the money to your country. Yeah, they hate me in Colombia. Costa Rica was less of a problem. Mexico was more of a problem. Even Puerto Rico was a headache. Like, I'm still in the United States, okay? This is Puerto Rico. Even that was a headache. But Colombia is even worse. Colombia, like, websites have just told me, don't come back. Don't come back. With Google Fi, for me, they seem to treat people differently. Rashida gets a stricter treatment than I get. When I'm out of the United States for more than 90 days, Google Fi cuts off my data and I become Wi-Fi only. So I was last in the US in April. So they should be cutting me off any day now. Was I last in the, but I'm going back I'm going back in August for my dad's birthday, but they should be cutting me off of data any day now. And then my phone will be Wi-Fi only for them, but I still have the other SIM card. But then when I go back, it's all good again, no matter how long I'm back in the US. So I was back in the US in April for like 2 weeks, and they were like, okay, you're back. Now with Rashida, they tell her she needs to stay in the US for 90 days before she'll get her data back. They don't do me like that. I don't know if it's because she's in Mexico, if it's because I got Google Fi earlier. I don't know why we get different treatment. But after 90 days, Google Fi cuts me off of data, which is why you'll need, even if Google Fi is your plan, you'll need a SIM card in the new country. But it just means still, if a bank needs to send me my verification code, I still have Google Fi. I still have the same number. A bank can still text me my verification code or my code, to log in. I need to keep my same US phone number, but I need to pay them as little as possible. And I believe there's a $10 or $20 per month baseline for Google Fi. I think I'm right, Natalie, but check it out. I don't know if I'm right for sure, but I believe Social Security, you're good to go. So you know that people in Social Security living all over the world. But if you're on Social Security disability insurance, you're not supposed to leave the country. Am I sure the US isn't setting up other nearby countries to target African Americans? Frankly, nobody cares about us. The United States could give a damn what we do and where we go. So I don't see that being a problem. I can see Black people in the United States being targeted to be kidnapped and taken out of the country, even though we are Americans, right? I can see that. But I can't see another country teaming up and being like, nobody cares about us, right? What the United States wants is they want to imprison people to work for free, right? The prison system has been basically a free labor system for decades now. So that's what they want. I don't think anybody cares about the people who are leaving. I don't think. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't think anybody gives a damn about us leaving, because they got plenty of people that they can imprison right there and work in camps and work for prisons and whatever. I don't feel like nobody cares about. Nobody is checking for us once we leave. If you stay, I think they will be checking to imprison you, to make you work in one of them prison camps. I think that's happening. I don't think anybody would be shocked to hear that that's what's happening. But once we leave, who cares? That nobody cares. We'll see. We'll see what's happening. Hmm. So Adelia talked about this in her video also. I would make sure that you're banking with more than one bank. So I bank with USAA, but I also have a small account. And then I have an American Express, like, what is it called? Checking? Not checking. American Express high yield savings. So I haven't done the best job of spreading my money out, but my Amex high yield savings account, like if USAA is the last bank I would expect to lose their shit, right? I think USAA, I'm safe. I feel good about that. Knock on wood. But I do have a high yield savings account with Amex where I could easily get money from my brokerage accounts I don't even want to talk about Vanguard. I just realized that the same Vanguard that is the prison for profit Vanguard, it's the same Vanguard as the investment. All this time I thought there were two different Vanguards. People talk about BlackRock and Vanguard being so heavy into the prison for profit world. And I was like, oh, that sucks. I didn't know it was the same Vanguard. I don't know what's going to happen there. So I did Google and saw that Fidelity is family owned and whatever. I don't know if is it time for us to leave Vanguard alone and switch to Fidelity? I don't know. I'm not prepared to have that conversation right now. I got too much going on, but I have money moved around in places that I could get money into my Colombian bank account from, that I don't have to be fearful of my bank learning that I'm not living in the US. I feel good about it. I feel like there's enough spread around. But if all of your money is in one bank, add something, right? Open up an account with somebody somewhere. Okay. Yeah. Open up. That's a thing that you should be doing. Adelia talked about that on her video the other day. Yeah, I wouldn't. I didn't know. I didn't know. I don't know how hard it is to move an IRA. So I have my brokerage account. That's easy. But then I have my retirement account. And now I don't want to have to learn. Do I now got to learn how things work on Fidelity? I know how to do Vanguard. I know how that works. I didn't know it was the same. I've heard the word Vanguard in the prison for profit world, right? I went to that socialism conference 2 years ago. They were like BlackRock and Vanguard, and they were the devil, right? BlackRock and Vanguard are the devil. All of this stuff, they kind of predicted the change in ICE, even without the change in president. They predicted the change in ICE's role and all of that. I went to that conference. I kind of went to the conference. I was there at the conference. I mostly watched the conference on the internet, but I did go to one session in person. And Vanguard and BlackRock, and I was like, oh, they're terrible. Girl, I didn't know it was the same Vanguard. I didn't know. I didn't know. I was like, oh, Vanguard sucks. Vanguard is ruining the country. Vanguard is killing people. Vanguard is imprisoning people for profit. I've been getting some of that profit. It's so hard. It's so hard out here. Why can't people be decent humans? Corporations are run by people. So corporations are not people, but they're run by people. Why can't they just be good people? That's why people want to shoot them in the streets. That's why they got to have bodyguards. Why can't they just be decent? Why can't you just not imprison people? Excuse me. Why can't we just not enslave people in 2025? So I don't know. I'm not going to deal with it anytime soon. Schwab is boycotted also. I'm not going to deal with the Vanguard thing anytime soon. Seriously, probably not until after December. November, let's see. So we got Exodus Summit stuff. I'm moving into this place and getting residency. I got stuff on my mind. Okay. I'm not going to deal with Vanguard until the end of the year, probably December or later. But that was really upsetting to me. I just knew it was a different Vanguard. I was like, oh, they're terrible. Oh, this is a terrible business model. They're pro-slavery. Girl, it's my Vanguard. I did a basic Google search and found out that Fidelity is owned by the same original family. I haven't looked into their politics. For all I know, they're just as bad. I don't know. So it'll be the end of the year, and I'll work on it. Maybe end of the year or early next year, I'll work on moving my money away from them. But what we were talking about is having your money in one U.S. bank account. That's a risk in general. But spread it around. There are places that are really suspicious to banks in the US. I don't know how much of it is legit and how much of it is just racism, right? Is Colombia that much more dangerous than Costa Rica in terms of fraud, right? Is Bogota a fraud hotspot, or are y'all just anti-Colombian, right? Why do I have to go through all this rigmarole trying to transfer money when I'm in Bogota? And it was really easy to transfer money when I was in Costa Rica. I don't know. But yeah, that's a risk that you're going to run. You need to have more than one. You need to have an account where you can quickly access money in more than one bank. Because if USAA gets, like, if they're like, oh, girl, nope, you're not in Colombia, nope, shut it down, right? How long would it take me to get to the US and get things fixed and get the money back? There's a little black butterfly flying by my window. Little tiny black butterfly. How long would it take me to get there? I need enough money to be able to live until that happens. So thankfully, my brokerage account, I can get money in I think 2 days from my brokerage account back to, oh, but I need to hook it. I guess I need to learn how to hook my brokerage account to a different, I need to learn how to hook it to my Colombian account. No, I need to figure that out. That's a thing I need to figure out. But yeah, that's a thing. Okay. Any other questions? I'm down with boycotting, I'm down with it. I'm 99% in. I've been a non-Walmart in the United States. I've been a non-Walmart shopper for seriously 20 years. Like seriously, a long, long time, right? I have one swipe board, like clipboard, that is a dry erase board. I have a dry erase board that I did buy at a Walmart. That is my Walmart purchase that I made in the United States in probably 20 years. And then when that Jeff Bezos owned newspaper would not endorse Kamala Harris for president, I cut off. That was the end of me and Amazon. Now, I just made one Amazon purchase. I'm going back to Delaware, like I said, in August, and I need to get a whole bunch of stuff and bring it with me. And I made one Amazon purchase. So that's been, if they wouldn't endorse her, that had to be what, August or September? One Amazon purchase in September, that's a record, because even though I've not lived in the US, I've done a lot of Amazon shopping. So one Amazon purchase, and then no Target purchases since January, when they decided that they were not truly interested in supporting Black businesses. January. So I'm down with boycotting. I believe in it. I believe that your money, even more than your vote being your voice, I believe your money is your voice. I sincerely, your vote is only as powerful as the other corporations backing your vote, the millions and millions and millions of dollars that back your vote, right? So you vote for your congressman, your senator, your whoever. It doesn't matter what you want them to do. It only matters what the corporations want them to do. And so we feed the corporations. Corporations, most of them don't make money without us. That is our voice. That is more powerful than our vote. Where we spend our money, I have always believed, is your voice. I've been so on voting. Okay? Black women don't like this conversation, but listen, I'm grown now. I'm 51. I've been so hit or miss on voting. I voted for Kamala Harris because I happened to be in the country at the time. And my mom was like, let's go vote. Connie Berry was like, let's go vote. I voted. But I have never been like this is how we do it. This is how we change the world. It's never been that. It is the money. The money talks. And so I'm down with boycotting. I'm down. Okay. I've spilled the beans. I confessed that I bought a little device. I went to the website. The company's website wouldn't, because I'm in Colombia. The company's website would not load. It's just a little device for your plugs that I want. And the company wouldn't load, and I couldn't buy it on Wayfair. And then it was available on one other website, and it was literally 3 times the price. And I was like, I'll go on Amazon, right? So of all of the shipments of stuff at my parents' house waiting on me, there is a package from Amazon. But that's one since what, September? What is the date? What at that exact date that the newspaper said we're not endorsing Kamala Harris, that was the last. I have not shopped on Amazon since then. So Washington Post. That was the date. October 25th, right? No one Amazon purchase since October 25th. I believe that your money is more powerful than our collective money is more powerful than our collective votes. Keep voting if you'd like. Keep voting, okay? We don't have to choose one or the other. We can do it all. Keep voting. But that has been my approach. That's been my approach since George Bush, since the Army days, since George W. Bush days. That's been my approach to things. I'm lukewarm on voting, but my money, you're not getting my money. Okay. Yeah. So listen, and boycotting. It's your business. I'm telling you what I did and do and when I crossed the picket line. But that's your business. You do your thing. So we talked about alignment earlier and about it being possible to make money in alignment with who you are. It's very important to spend your money in alignment with who you are and who you want to be and what you want the world to be like and how you want things to operate. Like I said, Rashida told me years ago, make sure that she said, I make sure my landlord is Mexican. Okay, right? I can do that. Make sure my landlord is a local person, not a corporation, and not a foreigner, right? At least my rent money is staying in Bogota for at least one more step, right? My rent money that I spend in Bogota is staying in Bogota for at least one more step. Now, Olga got kids, Olga got grandkids. They're entrenched in this community. That makes me feel better, right? That makes me feel better about me being a person spending money here. There are things that I do where the money is gone. I eat McDonald's. Now, I've eaten less McDonald's in Bogota than I used to eat in Costa Rica. But I still eat McDonald's. I know that money is gone. Actually, no, well, McDonald's are independently owned and operated, right? So maybe the money doesn't leave as fast as I think. I'm not talking about perfection. I'm talking about progress in this thing, addressing things. I just told you, I think apparently, Vanguard is one of the worst businesses out there. And I just told you, I'm not going to address that until December when I have the brain space to figure this out. I don't have the brain capacity to figure this out right now. I mean, I got a whole lot of things. You know what I'm in Colombia to do, right? I got to work on that. I got to set up a house. I got to set up a whole house so I look like a responsible person so that when the people come to look at the house, they'll be like, yes, you can take care of other people. I got a lot to do. I'm not going to address Vanguard for months. I think there's room for progress. We don't have to do things perfectly. Now, I don't know. Is this just me making excuses because I don't want to deal with it? Maybe. But I feel fine. I feel in alignment, right? I am in alignment with who I am and who I want to be. I feel good about that. Okay. All right. Yeah, Abba says her landlord in Mexico was Mexican and she was greedy. I'm not saying that's a perfect solution. It's just, at least it's a thing that we can hold up. When people start talking about foreigners moving to a place and acting like colonizers, that means them coming to a place and extracting, and not giving, right? Think of it as like moving to wherever there are emerald mines here in Colombia. Coming here, buying up all the emeralds and taking or stealing the emeralds and taking them out, right? What can we do to make sure the money sticks around longer in that place? And paying your rent to a local person is a way that you can make sure your money sticks around in that place a little longer. Just like we talk about keeping money inside of the Black community, right? As a resident of Bogota, de facto resident of Bogota, I have a responsibility to make sure that the money that I spend, some of it stays here, right? I just told you now, they don't do some things well. Some things they don't do well. They don't do sheets and towels and linens. They don't do comfortable stuff well. So I'm buying that stuff and bringing it in. But other things, if I buy them, I want to make sure some stuff is locally, it's benefiting a local person, right? This furniture, this desk I got made, that I paid that money to the man who made it. That morning, that morning or the night before, he was like, "What color do you want the stain?" Right? The man I paid is the man who made it. That money is staying here, right? I may go to Crate and Barrel or try to go to Crate and Barrel for some inspiration. I might steal Crate and Barrel's ideas. I need a console table for the hallway and a TV stand, not a stand for it, but a piece of furniture to put on the floor and the TV will be above it. I'm using inspiration from these corporations, but that money, that man is going to do it. That man's going to make it. Him and his team. He going to call me that morning talking about, I think it was the night before. What color stain did you want? When we opened up the drawers, they were like, "Oh, he just finished this desk. You can smell the glue from when he glued down the little liner. He put a liner in the drawers. He just finished this desk." Well, if I show you the desk, Christine, all you're going to see is all the mess on top of it. Let's see. That's my box from the lamp. Okay, so I'm using a table placemat because I don't have coasters. So I just have a placemat. You can't see too much of it. All you're going to see is once I get moved in, maybe I'll share some pictures. You can't see a million wires and cords. You can't see very much of the desk. It's just a desk. Solid wood, 3 drawers. Oh, let me start before I knock this glass on the floor. There's nothing, because I'm sitting at the desk. It's just a desk. But he made it for me. And you see, I still smell the inside. He made it for me. That man made my desk, my nightstands, and my bed frame. Another company made, and then he's also making my guest bed and nightstands. And then another company is making my dining room table. That's my next thing to get delivered. I think that's next week. Dining room table and chairs. Because I don't have I use this desk as it's my only table. So the placemat is here as a coaster and a placemat because I also eat here. My sofa was used from Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, that's my first round of furniture, first round of stuff. Yeah. Oh, you have the lamp? I bought this at we have a store here called Home Center. It's like if Home Depot and Home Goods and the appliance store was all in one. I believe that's from Home Center. Is he single? I'll ask him next time, Sandra. Yeah, it's a nice place, nice floors, hardwood floors downstairs and in the upstairs hallway. In the bedrooms, it's something else. It looks very similar, but it's either laminate or the other thing, the other word. I'll find out. I think so I walked through the house last week and I said I was going to chop part of that and make it a short video because last week's video was 5.5 hours long. But once I get it decorated, I would be surprised if you'll see the whole house on the internet. It's kind of a strange thing, right? You don't have your whole house on the internet. So you probably will only see the office, maybe the office and the dining room. The dining room, I think, is going to be, I'm going to like working from there more because there's a view of the balcony from there. So I'm going to figure that out. Part of me wants to swap the dining room and the office, but that doesn't really make sense. I don't know. But I probably will work at the dining room table a lot because there'll be the balcony, the view is right there. This is a funny question. Mosun says, what kind of heating system do they use in Bogota? Ain't no heat. The heating system is you bought you a heater or fireplace. I guess fireplace is the heating system. Fireplace, electric, gas, wood. I have a wood fireplace. I don't plan on using it. Based on last week's conversation, I learned that some of y'all have never used a wood fireplace and don't know how much work and effort and mess it requires and creates. It's a lot of work. So I'll probably put an electric fireplace in there. Ain't no heating system. I've not seen duct work. Except for in the hotels, I've not seen duct work in these houses. It's just close the windows and start the fireplace or the whatever. The low is not super cold here. So the high, it gets over 80 2 days out of the year. It gets over 80 degrees 2 days out of the year here. But also it doesn't get super cold. It gets 50 degrees, which sounds cold, except that we're in a city and buildings are right up on each other and everything's got big windows. So getting down to 50, 48 at night, I've not taken my heater upstairs. Maybe you asked that because you saw the box. This is the box of my DeLonghi heater. I've not taken it upstairs. I've used it down here exactly twice, and the second time was yesterday. Yesterday, it felt chilly to me. It's a different, even though the temperature numbers are numbers we recognize, it feels very different. It doesn't feel 48. It didn't feel 48 in my bedroom. And I guess part of it is brick buildings, lots of glass, and city means that even though the air temperature is cooler, inside it feels warmer than it looks. You know, it feels warmer than it is. So, like I have short sleeves on right now. I don't feel cold. Once I stop talking, I'll put something on, right? Once I stop talking, I will start to feel a little chillier. That's how I normally in here. But not like, man, I wish there was central heat in this house. I've not, in Bogota, I've not been like, I wish there was central heat in any place. I've stayed in, I don't know, 6, 8 different units around the city. It's not been that. it's different. I think they do a good job. The brick, every building is brick. Y'all saw the view. Every building is brick. Lots of brick and lots of glass. And so I think that's part of the reason why inside doesn't feel that cool. Yeah, so I got the space heater. I got the DeLonghi. I got the little space heater. I think I will do something to the fireplace. I think my Christmas present this year for myself will be to put an electric fireplace insert into the wood burning fireplace, because that would be nice. Because yesterday I was laying on the sofa looking out at my neighbors' windows. Most of them closed their blinds at night, but one left hers open and she had a fire on. It looked like a gas fireplace. It looked like a gas fireplace through the windows. And I was like, yeah, that's what I want. This would be a good night to have a gas fireplace or an electric fireplace. No, maybe tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm free. So I've been like sitting around. I just got my internet finished on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, I don't know what happened to Wednesday, frankly. And then Thursday and Friday, I had to do a lot of work. And I actually need to do a lot of work today. My challenges are coming up. I haven't done a good job of letting people know. I got to get some students in my YouTube challenge and inside of the Exodus ASAP, Get Your Next 3 Clients challenge. So I need to make some more videos and do some more talking. But tomorrow maybe. So I'll reach out to them today and Anita today and see if anybody was doing anything and if I can join them. I would like to get to a market, but no, I only have 2 weeks. Yeah, I got time. I'd like to get to a market, get some fruit from that fruit market, fruit and vegetables. And because I'll be here for 2 more weeks before I leave for Delaware. 1 year lease, but I expect to stay here. I expect to be, if I'm in Bogota for 4 years, I'll expect to be in this house for 4 years. Unless I meet me a rich man with a even better apartment, I'll be here. This is space. There's room to grow here. They had the rent increase, the annual rent increase is linked to the consumer price index number, which for the last couple of years has been at 5% increase. So I expect to not leave here. I expect to stay here. It's not like it's the max they can request. The max increase they can request is whatever the consumer price index for Bogota, for Colombia increase is, whatever that is. And for the last 2 years, the max they could request was 5%. And that's written into the lease. So that feels good. No ceiling fans, no window screens. I've also not been on ground floors. Let's see, I was on the 6th floor. I was on that 5th floor. I think I was on the 3rd floor one time. I've not had any bug problems. I just, if I feel like opening the windows, I open the windows. My bathroom window has been open since I moved in. It was open when I got here because the housekeeper had come and I've never closed it. And no bugs. Well, there was something. There was something while I watched the live stream from Saturday. Something flew past me, but it found its way out or something because I haven't seen it since then. But no mosquitoes. Bogota is cool. It's cool. So this is not a mosquito-y place. I can't give you the average cost of rent because it's a city. It's like asking what's the average cost of rent in New York City. There are people who pay $8,000 a month and there are people who pay $800 a month. And so the average would be in between that, right? Right? I'm paying 8.5 million Colombian pesos. And that is 4 bedrooms plus an office and 3 little balconies, right? I don't know if that's helpful. I'm in a bougie neighborhood. I don't know if that's helpful. Right. Rent it varies, right? There are people who move in and everything is furnished. I had to buy my own refrigerator, right? Which is normal. The normal thing is that you buy your own refrigerator and dishwasher and oven. This happened to have a stove and an oven, but I bought my own refrigerator and the dishwasher is just a hole. Okay. So I can't tell you an average. I can tell you that it's not been increasing. I did read an article that said rents have not been increasing over the last 2 or 3 years. They've stayed pretty much the same. So good for me. Thanks for that, Bogota. Yeah. There are people, I guess, let's see. I'm in two different Facebook groups for people who have moved to Colombia. There is a neighborhood called Tesacuyo, where people who are budget conscious like to go. And I think around there they pay for a 2 bedroom, they pay around 3.5 million, 3.5 million COP. So they pay about 875 for 2 bedrooms, I think, in Tesacuyo, around 3.5 million, maybe 4. Or is that Santa Fe? Now, Santa Fe is even less expensive in Bogota. It's hard to say, girl. It's hard to say because everything is so neighborhood specific, so size specific. Lots of buildings have pools in the bottom. Lots of buildings here, surprisingly. For it to not be a hot weather location, I guess they want to attract Colombians from other cities. A lot of buildings have pools. My building has nada, okay? Ain't no pool. A lot of them have a little jungle gym and a weight room and a little kid jungle gym room. I got none of that, right? I've got no amenities in this building. So that matters. So it's hard to talk about averages. It's a really nice neighborhood. So it reminds me of Fells Point, which is strange because I'm not on the water. But if you know Fells Point in Maryland, how you just, it's just like shops and brick buildings and trees. This neighborhood is shops and brick buildings and trees, restaurants, lots of coffee shops, walking distance. Once you cross 2 blocks, I'm in the middle of, not the middle of the city, but the middle of a bougie restaurant section of the city, right? I'm in the middle of there are financial, so I'm one street up from like a financial district where the bank's headquarters are. One street up from there and 2 streets over from where they all go to lunch, right? I'm in a bougie neighborhood and I can walk to the mall. I can walk to Andino Mall, probably 20-minute walk, which is not bad. 20-minute walk to Andino Mall. So this location, great. I'm paying that, okay? Yeah, to me, this reminds me of Fells Point only because everything is brick and lots of little shops and stuff. Ain't no water. Ain't no water. There's mountains here. There's no water. Yeah, it gives me that feeling, especially when I go out during the day. A lot of times when I try to go out in the morning, I end up going out at noon. I'll be like, I'm going to go for a walk this morning. Next thing I know, it's noon. And I'm out, and so are the people who work in the banks. And it's just, it's that. It's that. My grocery store has a wine shop inside of it. I've been to this Carulla market in 4 or 5 different neighborhoods. This is the first one where I've seen them have a separate wine shop inside of the grocery store. So it's a bougie neighborhood. I gave up. Not gave up. Yeah, I guess. Everything is a give and take, right? So I got the space that I wanted, and I got the old feel that I wanted, old building. A lot of new things just feel so new and hollow, right? You walk on the floor and you're like, this floor feels like it's just a paper. It feels like paper, right? The doors so hollow. I'm in an old building. I got wooden doors and wooden floors. But what I didn't get was I don't have a tremendous view. But I'm in a great neighborhood, right? My sacrifice, I think, was the view. I took that was off the list, and the terrace. We talked about this last week. Terrace off the list. I have balconies, 3 balconies, but no terrace, no big old terrace. Yeah, it reminds me of that. Green, pretty, chill. It reminds me of that or like Annapolis. Yeah, I like this neighborhood. I really like this neighborhood. I've been cooking brekkie. I cook my breakfast. That's it. I said I was going to go buy salmon, buy this, that, buy something, and maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Buy something for 4 or 5 days. But then I messed around and ordered some Italian food and I thought I was ordering 2 days worth of dinner and I got 4 days worth of dinner. Most places here, the restaurants don't give you enough portions for double meals like we're used to in America. But I happened to order from a restaurant 2 days ago that when I ordered the food, it was like, I thought I was getting 2 days of dinner and I got 4 days of dinner. So anyway, have I been cooking? I've been cooking breakfast. I think this is the week I'll cook. I think I'm going to cook my dinner next week. So Sunday I'll try to cook enough food for 4 days. Because I think Bogota is going to force me to cook more because they don't season their food. You can order anything and have anything delivered. You can go to any restaurant. I got restaurants right here, right? But you're not going to be like, oh my gosh, this was so good. I think if I want some, oh my gosh, this was so good meals, I'm going to have to do it myself because they don't season their food like that. Either that or I'm going to have to take at the meetup, at the birthday party, Candace and her husband had a little mix of seasonings for their, either I'm going to have to take my own seasoning to the restaurants with me, or I'm going to have to cook. I think that's how I get real seasoned food. The food is fresh and good. There's this little restaurant called Baku. It's a chain. I'm not even that kind of girl. Who do I think I am eating these bowls of fresh vegetables, right? But I even eat at Baku, but still, I'm like, a little salt and pepper? Like, would it kill them? Hot sauce? What is the problem here? A roommate that cooks, a boyfriend that cooks, a chef, where the chef's at. Christian Jane last week said she was coming down. She didn't say. Christian Jane last week said that she cooks. And I was like, come on down. Okay. So that's how I'm going to get delicious food in Bogota. The food is not, I think you can get used to it, the lack of seasoning, but I don't want to get used to it. So I'm going to need to either BYOS, bring your own seasoning to the restaurant, or cook it myself, or have somebody cook it here. There are Caribbean people around. I don't know what they be doing. I see Haitians all the time. I don't know, like, where do y'all eat? I think Haitians season their food, right? What do y'all be eating? So I think that is the drawback. That is the negative, okay? I think the answer to me having delicious food in Bogota is that I make it. Or at least re-season it. My dad buys Chinese food, brings it home and recooks it. Egg rolls, he's going to recook his egg roll. Fried chicken, my dad brings fried chicken home and refries it. So it's nothing for me to doctor up the food. I'm a doctor some stuff. It's a thing that I'm going to have to get used to in Bogota. I'm a doctor. I'm going to have to doctor it. If I want to enjoy it to the max, I'm going to doctor it. Even the this Italian restaurant that I just ordered from, it was so-so. I went to one place that has a great reputation and I ate there and I was like, ain't no seasoning. Where is the salt, the pepper, parsley? Italian, they believe in some seasoning, something. That is the thing that I'm going to have to fix. In Costa Rica, the problem was going to be that I was never going to like that city. So at least in Bogota, I like the city. I'm just never going to like the food unless I doctor it. But I've grown, like I said, my dad buys apple pie. My dad is a really good baker and he's known for making apple dumplings, right? But if he goes and buys an apple pie, he brings the apple pie home. He cuts the lid, the top off the pie. He re-seasons the inside of that pie and rebakes the pie. I know how to doctor my food, so I think that's going to be a thing that I'm going to be doing for all my time here. If I'm here for 4 years, it's 4 years of Stephanie doctoring her food. Okay. The good news is I was raised to do it. My whole life with my dad has prepared me for this time, for such a time as this. I'm prepared for such a time as this. Because I'll do it too, right? So now if back at home, if I bought a pie in Wilmington, Definitely they didn't put enough butter, butter, some extra whatever, cinnamon, nutmeg, little more sugar sometimes. I like raisins in my desserts. I know that's controversial. Might sprinkle some raisins in there, little butter on the crust, rebake it. It's a thing I've always done because it's a thing he's always done. So I'm prepared. I'm uniquely qualified to live in Bogota, Colombia. I'm uniquely qualified. Opposite deal breaker. Forget it, Bogota. Forget it. I gotta find the places. I gotta find where the Haitians be eating at. Because I've seen and heard Haitian people walking, speaking French and walking down the street, or Haitian Creole and walking down. Where do they eat? That's what I need to find. There's always this Middle Eastern restaurant that has a lot, that's always full. So I'm assuming that's where the flavors, that's Flavor Town. That, I'm assuming that's Flavor Town. So I'm gonna have to do some more research. But the average place you walk in, you're not gonna enjoy the food. I mean, you're not gonna. The food is good. It's a strange thing. The food, it's good. It's fresh. It's tasty. It's just not seasoned. Yeah, Anita, the Haitians eat at home. Okay, cat, they eat at home. So I just need to make some friends. Let me make some Haitian friends because they're eating food. They're eating seasoned food. So where we had the birthday party, I think y'all, those of you who were there, I think you would agree that the food, it was good food. It was, first of all, it was beautiful. The chef has a flair for the dramatic. So the food was beautiful and it was tasty. Like you can taste what it is, but it's just not seasoned. There's we need the next step. Next step, please, chef. Hefe. It's just a thing that they're just not doing here in Bogota. You can find really fresh and really good food when you look at it. You're like, this is fresh, this is good, but it's just not seasoned. So I'm on it. I'm on it. I should get, wait, what are you saying? Wait, I lost it. You should get your dad on apple pie get him an apple pie for his birthday so he can make it good. I mean, he is well known for that. That is when people see it for the first, like if somebody's over for the first time and they see it, they're like, wait, what? Is he frying the chicken he just bought? He just bought fried chicken. Is he refrying the chicken? Did he just take the whole lid off the pie? But it's my whole life. That's my whole life. If he didn't make it himself, there's some work going into it. So I'm prepared. I'm ready for this. Bring it on, Bogota. Bring it on. Listen, I'm a doctor some potato salad. We have a store in Dover called Redner's. They do good potato salad, coleslaw, but anything else, oh please. I'm doing it. Y'all do that, right? If you buy potato salad from the store, you have to add in some mustard. They don't do enough mustard, not enough twang in it. You add in some relish. Sometimes you might add in a little sugar. I'm a sugar girl, and I want a little sweeter potato salad than most people would like. Y'all do that, right? I think that's everybody. Add in for potato salad, usually if you can add in some mustard and some relish, you're going to have a better potato salad experience from the store. But we happen to have Redner's in Delaware who does a good potato salad. Because of the Amish influence in lower Delaware, you can find good grocery store food. Because we got the Amish. They throw down. So that's been a thing. That's been a good thing about Delaware. Yes, paprika. Yeah, I think we all do that to our potato salad. It's like that here, okay? So now I want you to come back to Bogota. It's just like that, okay? It's just like that, just like you have to do to your potato salad. No mustard, Tori. Y'all do it different? Tori's in Houston, right? No. You need the mustard. You need the twang. No. Yeah, okay. So just like you always do, that's how it is in Bogota, okay? But with everything. Just like you always have to doctor your potato salad if you buy it from the store, you're going to always have to doctor everything in Bogota, okay? Everything, everything. It's a thing. It's a trade-off, okay? It's a trade, and the paprika. It's a trade-off. Oh, just you. Okay. I'm like, I know they do that in Houston. I know they put. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So not too much mustard. No, no, no. There's a balance. I don't want the color to be super bright, right? And just a balance. We just need the balancing of flavors. Okay, friends. Okay. Thank you very much for coming here. Can you see what's in my refrigerator? I can tell you everything that's in my refrigerator. Butter, 2 packets of hot sauce from when I had a chicken sandwich the other day, and I ordered extra hot sauce to use on various things in the future because I haven't bought any hot sauce. I need to get to the store and buy some. I like Cholula now. I'm into Cholula right now. Uh, my neighbor bought me strawberries, apples, and pears, and the pears are still in the refrigerator. I ate the apples and the strawberries. My neighbor, that was my welcome gift from my neighbor. Milk, that's it. And my leftover Italian stuff, that's it. It's not a stocked refrigerator. Yeah, a little twang, a little twang. Okay, local butter, I'm doing good. I have not had to switch over to Kerrygold or the one I can never remember, Lurpak, or Presidente. We talked about this last week. My holy grail of butters are Kerrygold, Lurpak, and Presidente, which are Irish, Danish, and French butters. Normally in Latin America, I'd be like, where are they? Give me one of those. I'm not messing with y'all's local butters. In Mexico, forget it. Costa Rica, never. I'm not buying the local butter. But here, I buy the local butter. It's Alpina. Alpina's done right by me. So that's what's in the fridge. Diamond Forbes is here. Okay, so all the diamonds are here. Are all the diamonds here? Hi, Diamond. I was talking about you earlier, and I was like, "Yeah, Diamond's here," and it was a different diamond. There's a whole bunch of diamonds here today. Yeah. Oh, and I still have one of the candy bars. I have a Milky Way still in there. They had 3 for 2 candy bar sale, and one of them is still in there too. That's what's it. I was so excited about my new refrigerator. It's so funny the things I was thinking about that this morning. It's funny the things that I got so excited about getting in this new place. I don't have I had a cup in here, but I don't have it in here anymore. My dishware and my silverware, because I've been talking about that, right? How I'm so sick of being in Airbnbs with their bent up fork tines. I was so excited to get my silverware and pick out my dishes. And that was a whole thing. I went to the store 3 different times. I looked at the dishware in one store, I looked at the dishware in another store. And then I was torn between the one with the black and white pattern and something more plain. Right. So funny the things I got excited about. The refrigerator, it had to have an ice maker and the water on the front on the door and not right. It's funny the things I got excited about. Duvet and bedspread, I was just like, just whatever. Because I know whatever I get here is not going to be soft. If I want a good soft duvet, it's going to have to come from the US. So for that, for my duvet and sheets, I was like, just throw whatever in the cart. Just throw it in the cart. But then my TV stand, I'm like, oh, I want it made and I want to design it and I want to pick it up. I want it to have rounded ends. I want it to, right? It's funny, the things I'm like, oh, whatever, just whatever. The sofa, I was like, whatever, just whatever. The first sofa I see on Facebook Marketplace, I'll take it. But then for the TV stand, I'm like, no, I want it rounded corners and this and that, only this tall. It's funny. It's when you're starting from zero. There's a lot of, I'm convincing myself not to just buy everything. Just, I don't need that yet. You don't need it yet. Take your time. Wait until you find one that you really like, right? Like my coffee table. I thought I found a coffee table I like. Turns out it's too small. I don't need to go and find I don't need a coffee table, right? I'm using the side table as a coffee table. It's working. I don't want to go out and buy a coffee table just to have one and then not love it. I want a coffee table. I want to walk in and be like, I love that coffee table. You know, it's funny how things are working out. I don't have any plans to put an office in my bedroom. I'd like to keep that separate. I have terrible bedtime habits, what they call sleep hygiene. My sleep hygiene sucks. I take my computer and my phone into my bedroom, into my bed. My computer and my phone sleep in the bed with me. So I cannot have an office in there, or it would not be a bedroom. It would be an office. So my plan is to figure out how to leave them out of the room. I thought about buying a little tiny table outside the door, putting a little table outside the door and not letting them cross that door. I had to figure that out because it's awful. It's the last thing I do and the first thing I do in the morning. The reason I say I'm going to get up and go for a walk in the morning and I end up not leaving until noon is I open up my phone or my laptop because they're in the bed with me. As soon as I wake up, they're on. Now I've lost 2 hours, 3 hours doing nothing. I can't live like that. I can't. I've been telling you this for years now, and I have not fixed it. In this new house, I have an opportunity to start again. So I need to start again. I just moved in on Saturday. So there's time for me to build a better habit here. But I can't keep going that way. I cannot keep sleeping with my computer and my phone in the bed with me, being on them all night, and then first thing in the morning. You think I need glasses now. I can't imagine that's good for your eyes, your vision. It's also just not good for time management. Time rolls by because it's easy to pass 2 hours on the computer, right? You watch the couple at the Coldplay concert. Next thing you know, 2 hours later, you know their names, who they work for. You're on Reddit hearing everybody talk about what it was like working for them. Right? Like that was 2 mornings, I think at least one morning this week. It was that, right? When I woke up, we didn't know their names. By the time I got out of bed and went for my walk that morning, we knew where they worked for, where they worked, their titles, their names, their spouse names. We saw posts from people who used to work with them. One post from that, the man was like he's like the kind of white male idiot that fails forward, right? How he ruins every business he's ever worked for. He has a reputation of being a horrible businessman. I know all of that. I knew all of that before I got out of the bed because I sleep with my computer and my phone. I don't want to live like that. I can't. I can't keep going on like this. It was entertaining, however. It was right entertaining. If you don't know what we're talking about, let it be that. Let yourself not know. Don't follow my example. Don't do as I do. Because I'm telling you, I lost a whole morning. Because when I woke up, we didn't know their names. By the time I got out of bed, we knew their names and where they worked, and we knew his business reputation. We knew his wife's name, right? I know all of this stuff that did not make my day any better. It was entertaining, and there is value in entertainment, but there are other forms of entertainment out there. And it would have been nicer probably had I gone for my walk. Then I could have gone I had to have Rappi deliver the internet, that thing that I'm using to get my internet in the office. The internet juice doesn't reach into the office, and I have to use one of those things. I kept for 2 days. I said, I need to go to the store and buy it. And finally I was like, let me just get Rappi to deliver it because I still don't have it and I still can't use my office, right? Sandra says she's reporting me to Dr. Robin. She got me all the way together. She's the sleep doctor. Robin is. Let me link to Robin's channel. Dr. Robin is a pharmacist. Let's see. Robin RX Sleep RX. Yeah, let me go ahead and give you her info. This is a do as I say. Sleep RX. Come on, you can do it, computer. You know who I mean. Any other time you're all in my business, you know who I'm talking about. Sleep Well RX, that's why. Sleep Well RX. You know who I'm talking about. Yeah, okay, so that is a thing. Now that I'm in this new home, here's Robin's YouTube channel, Sleep Well RX. She's a member of our community. She's a pharmacist, and sleep is her thing. Yeah, there's time for me to establish better habits. I'm just getting in here. I've only been in this house for 1 week, so I can get on the good foot. Let me get on the good foot. No, I'm running. I say walking, I'm intervaling, right? I'm on run 60 seconds, walk 90 seconds to prepare to run longer. This high altitude, it doesn't feel harder, except when it does. Let's see. When I get tired, I get crazy tired when I'm running or walking. I get really, really tired. When I walk with car exhaust, like if I'm on a main street and there's car exhaust, because there's less oxygen in the air, I cannot recover from that. It feels like my lungs just close. If I'm on a street and there's car exhaust and I breathe it in, so I'm mainly walking / running at the park. And then on Sundays, they close streets down. I haven't done it. I didn't do it last Sunday, but tomorrow I'm going. They close streets down to traffic. So I'm going to go out then. It's been a challenge because the two different times one time I was actually going uphill and had the car exhaust, and I just could not recover. Yeah, so we're super high altitude. And so there's a lot less oxygen in the air. 8,000 some feet in the air. There's a lot less oxygen in the air. And so I guess I'm noticing the combination of the altitude and me just not being in the best shape anymore and being older, right? It's harder I'm starting out fine. My workouts are starting out fine, but by the end, I'm much more tired than I'm used to being. So I'm gonna have to get used to that, right? I'm gonna have to get used to working out at this altitude. It's just not the same. It's not what I thought it was. And so, yeah, that one time I was like, I don't know. Am I going to be able to recover? I was like, I cannot breathe. I cannot get any air in. It was a combination of going uphill, up the little pedestrian walkway and breathing in the car exhaust. My lungs were just like, you're not getting anything right now. Okay. We're stopping this. And I was just like, I would guess it was closest to an asthma attack that I could get without being an asthmatic. I was not getting air. So why I'm saying that is, yes, I'm still running / walking, but I'm taking it easy. My intervals I'm not going to be running straight 5K in 6 weeks, okay? It's going to be walking and running and walking and running because the recovery time is taking me much longer. I think inside and outside, there's a lot less oxygen. I think I read 30% less oxygen at this altitude. I'm not exactly sure, but a lot less oxygen. So I'm taking it slow. I think it's outside, it's inside, it's everywhere. It's Bogota. A lot less oxygen. So I'm taking it easy. This is a great idea, Kat. Would you consider doing a live where Dr. Robin coaches you on improving your sleep hygiene? Can I screenshot this? Great idea. Yes, I would. Then I would have to do what she says. Somebody like me, when I don't have support, I even if I know the things to do, I don't do them. So getting support, getting accountability on the internet with Dr. Robin, fantastic idea. Thank you, Kat. So yes, absolutely. 100%. Yeah, I'm taking it easy with the, so that I'm taking it easy, right? Don't expect me to be running I signed up for a 5K, but I don't expect to run the whole 5K. Okay. There will be walking, there'll be running, there'll be walking, there'll be running. Okay. I'm doing that in September. Don't, I've tempered my expectations, as should you. However, a pair of pants that didn't fit me when I was with Rashida on her birthday fit me now. So I'm not eating cereal for dinner anymore. That's helpful. Part of it is they don't have the cereal I like here. I haven't seen Captain Crunch. So that's good news. Yeah. Have I considered keeping oxygen in my house? No, I don't think I'm there. I think I just need to take it easy and adjust. We adapt. Our bodies are very adaptable and adjustable. I think I can be a person who runs at this altitude. It's just going to take a time. It's going to take time. I'm going to take it easy. I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm kind of excited to go home to Delaware. I'm going for my dad's birthday, I told you, and run in the neighborhood, walk and run in the neighborhood and see if I can feel a difference. I'm kind of excited about that. To see if I can tell the altitude difference, if I'm moving any better there. But I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it, right? I take my time. Ain't no deadline. I have another 70 years to live. I got time, okay? I'm not on a time crunch. Yeah, Captain Crunch for dinner. Ugh, it really, I'm paying the price. I'm paying the price for all those Captain Crunches for dinner. Oh, Ironman tomorrow? Nice. I think the Bogota Marathon is here tomorrow. Oh, wonder how that'll impact the streets that are closed off for activities. They close lots of streets off here, and you just bike or run or walk or roller skate or rollerblade up and down the main arteries. This city is also one of the most bicycle path heavy cities in the world too. That their goal is to be the #1 city for bicycle paths. So I have options and choices. And the men, a thing about bicycling is the repair work, but you just go outside and there's a man on like every few blocks, there's just a man outside fixing bikes. It's the cutest thing. One of the cutest things about this city. Some of them have a little cart, and bicycling is a thing here. Bicycle repair is an easy thing to have done. It's one of the things when you like, I don't want to start biking because I don't want to have to learn how to take care of a bike. That's me anyway. That problem is solved here. Psychopaths, not psychopaths. Yeah, they're really proud of their bicycling culture and space. And I think if they're not, I don't think they're the most, I don't think they have the most bicycle paths of any city in the world, but I think that's their goal. I think that's what Bogota's goal is. Yeah. Oh, D, you're in the Netherlands? D, who lives in Mexico City, congrats on the new home. Sorry, I missed the birthday celebration, but I was in the Netherlands the last 3 weeks. Oh, good. How was it? Did you enjoy it? Did you eat some pastries? A thing the Dutch will do is bake. Did you eat some stroopwafels and some pastries? Good, good. All right. I know I've said it 4 times, but friends, it's time to go. Now that we're talking about working out, I need to eat some breakfast and figure out what my workout is going to be today. And then get to work. I need to do some work. Work. I need to get some students. Those of you who are coming to my YouTube challenge, I need to do some work so that you have some other people in the challenge with you. So it's not just me and you looking at each other all day. So YouTube Success Challenge starts on Monday. It's going to be the smallest challenge I've done. So if you would like more individual attention, this is the time to sign up. My YouTube challenge is about starting or growing a YouTube channel to get the YouTube algorithm on your side. How to tell YouTube what you're about so that YouTube will go find people who are into that thing. My YouTube algorithm knows that you would like me, and it suggested me to you at some point. That's because I gave it the right data. I gave the algorithm the data that said, here's who I want to come to my YouTube channel. Please go recommend me. And so in the challenge, we work on giving YouTube the right data. How do we make videos, and what do we put in those videos, and what do we put in those descriptions, and what do we put in those thumbnails so that the algorithm will suggest you to people? And then how do we structure a video so that people will watch it, right? And so that they'll tell the algorithm that they liked it, so that the algorithm will then go and recommend it to more people. That is what we do in the challenge. Join me, vicarious.com/challenge. It's going to be nice and small this time, so you'll have time to get what you need, get individual attention. Vicarious.com/challenge is the link. It's not a free challenge. You pay for the challenge. You pay for the challenge because you expect to receive that on the end, right? You expect that this is an investment that you're going to get back. If you can see your YouTube video through community, through clients, through monetization, if you can see a way that your video, your YouTube channel would make you money, then you can see why this challenge is worth money. Okay. If you don't see any way that your challenge would make, or that your channel would make money, then you wouldn't see how a challenge would be worth money. But if you either want to use your channel to market a business, or to grow a community, or just to get ad revenue from YouTube, then you can see how coming to this YouTube challenge is worth the money. Okay, come on over. I'll see you guys on Monday if you're coming to the challenge, and I got to spend the next couple of hours emailing people, making sure people know about the challenge so that you won't be there by yourself, okay? All right, and then the whole topic of this video was moving abroad. If you're ready to work out your peace out protocol, where am I going? What does it cost? Where's the money coming from? What do I do about my people and my pets? What do I do about my home and all of my stuff? What about insurance? What about residency? Do I need it? Do I get it? Where? How? And then how do I take action even though this thing is scary to me, right? That there are 8 parts of your peace out protocol. If you want to make progress on that peace out protocol and get coaching from me, from Rashida Dow, from the other women in the Exodus community, come to Exodus ASAP. That is exodusasap.com. July is money making month. And so we started off talking about you can have a business, but if you don't have clients, you're not making any money, right? If clients are your problem, we're doing the Get Your Next 3 Clients Challenge, July 27th through August 1st. Sunday, I hope that's a Sunday through Friday, the end of July, inside of the Exodus ASAP membership, and that is exodusasap.com. As you can see, there's a theme here. I like challenges. I like sped up periods of time where you intently and intensively work on the thing. You can make weeks of progress in a week, weeks and weeks. You can make weeks and weeks and weeks of progress. You can make 12 weeks of progress in 6 days when you come to our challenges. It's because having the focus time, having the coaching, having the community and the support is unlike anything else. So if one of these things is interesting to you, join one. I wouldn't join both. Because they're back to back this time, and you're not going to want to be in a challenge this week and a challenge the next week. Pick the one that most resonates with you, right? If you want to move abroad, join us in Exodus ASAP, okay? We can work on YouTube later. If you want YouTube, do that, okay? Let's get that going. Pick one, join us, and I'll keep you posted. So I don't think I have a guest next Saturday. Thank you very kindly for your um, support and kindness to the guests who have been around here over the last few weeks. Tony Jones was here. Oh, I think it was just Tony. No, I don't know. I may have had a guest before Tony that I may not be remembering. But thank you very much for your kindness towards her. I hope that you enjoyed her. Thank you very much for your patience with me last week for 5.5 hours while we waited on my mattress to be delivered. I hope that was fun. I think it was fun. And thank you very much for your kindness today. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for your not encouragement. Thank you for we're very excited. Okay, we're excited. I'm excited about this new place, but so are you. I appreciate that. Thank you for feeling that with me. Thank you for feeling the excitement with me. I can't wait to continue to make this apartment a home and to make it a warm, loving, comfortable place for me, for my family, for my friends, for people who pass through. I can't wait to make this what I have a vision for it to be. And so thank you for joining me in the excitement of this. I'm very excited. I'm very excited. And thank you for the super chats, friends. Thank you, Julie. Thank you very much for the super chat. Thank you, Gail. I hope you're still here. Thank you very much for that super chat. Carol, thank you. I think we talked about this. Too old is I think if you feel too old, you're too old. If you feel like there's more life ahead, then you're not too old. And yes, your Social Security will go into your US account. You need to know how to get it out. Thanks, Cree Girl, for the you're coming down to cook? Okay. Come on down. Thank you very much for that super chat. Thank you, friends, for the super chats. Thank you for the fun times. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you guys again very soon. Take good care. Bye.